All right, everyone, let me just grab your attention real quick. All right, before we start the video, I do be stuttering. There's nothing I can do about it, bro. I tried everything, and at points of recording this video, I was sick and I was stuttering and I was trying to fix it. So if you notice a difference in the audio levels, a difference in the voice, that's what it is. So when you hear those things, I need you to lock in to the video, lock in and immerse yourself in the story that's being told, in the video that has been so eloquently crafted for your ears. All right. Thank you all for watching. I love you. Bye.
The island is famously named after Colonel Caleb Edwards for his glorious and triumphant slaughtering of countless families during one of the great ethnic cleansings of the 20th century. The forceful a low-frequency radio wave is incident upon a body of radio waves travel forever until it is absorbed by matter or a person.
How many of you are there?
Fort Milner on Edwards Island seems deserted, harrowing, and unmoving. But after looking a little closer at the history of the United States, we can see that encased within this seemingly ordinary island is a terrifying and dreadful history. A focal point of Oxenfree, Fort Milner was built in 1941, just 2 years after the outbreak of World War II. This island military base expanded during the Cold War. Once a communications hub, Fort Milner eventually evolved into what we see today, a ruin. Where soldiers once stood and filled this military base of operations with their voices and bodies, only mysteries and the ghosts of times past remain. We can only assume that Oxenfree's story was written with a lot of World War II's history in mind. Looking back at some of America's responses and actions during World War II, we can see that the United States built over 400 advanced naval bases that included numerous communication facilities. Most of these bases are focused within the Pacific and Atlantic theaters. This is a very important fact to know when thinking about Oxenfree, as Edwards Island perfectly fits these descriptors. Being located in northern Oregon, Edwards Island fits perfectly within the Pacific Northwest region of the United States of America. Setting up these military bases along the coast proved vital in the support of naval operations throughout the entirety of the war. I would like to discuss two particular naval air bases to get a more focused look at exactly where Oxenfree derived its inspiration from. First, I would like to talk about Naval Air Station Tongue Point. Tongue Point was officially reformed into a naval air base in the year of 1939, the same year that World War II began. Although its construction didn't finish until 1943, it was used as a base of operations for the United States military in supporting coastal patrols. The primary support role is the maintenance and upkeep of PBY Catalina seaplanes. I should also mention that Tongue Point is literally an entire peninsula that flows into the Columbia River. You can imagine how much of an advantage you'd have and how many more operations you can perform as a military with this type of real estate. While all of this information is fine and dandy to know, what I really want to get at here is what this base was used for after the war. After the end of World War II, the base was used as an all-weather station. The second base I'd like to speak about is called Fort Stevens. When researching different military forts in Oregon during the timeline of Oxenfree, I couldn't not include this one. Fort Stevens originally housed a secret radio listening post deemed Secret Station S, but due to the location of the base, it had significant reception issues. So this secret radio listening post was moved to Bainbridge Island in Washington. The similarities get a little more eerie when looking at the history of Fort Stevens and the USS Kanaloa and Oxenfree. As we can see here, the fort was actually attacked by a Japanese submarine named I-25, and not only did it attack the base in 1942, it fired multiple shells in the vicinity of the fort, mainly damaging the local baseball field and telephone cables. Luckily though, there were no casualties. This was actually the first time in 130 years that a foreign power had even attacked the United States. Well, what went on to happen to Secret Station S, you might ask? And why is it important to this video? What became of Secret Station S was that following the realization that the geography surrounding Fort Stevens didn't allow proper reception, it was then moved to Fort Ward on Bainbridge Island in Washington, very close to Seattle, topographically speaking. Secret Station S would go on to function in its primary role, which was the interception and decoding of foreign Japanese radio communications. Secret Station S is actually noted for receiving the final message severing the acquaintanceship between Japan and the United States before the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Maggie Adler, a prominent character we'll see in Oxenfree, could in all reality be someone who was appointed to Secret Station S. Her knowledge of radios and intercepting rogue frequencies points to this hypothesis being correct. That, along with her secretive nature, but we'll have plenty of time to get to her sub-story later in the video. Both of these forts unify and guide the underlying themes of Oxenfree. Tongue Point guides the geography, location, and what is presented to the public, as usual with U.S. military operations, along with all of its pro-American propaganda and seeming functionality. Then there's Secret Station S, cloaked in all of its mystery. Its main weapon is shortwave radio. Secret Station S was erected and then abandoned shortly after. All of these facts may seem like a minor detail, but the history of Secret Station S and Fort Milner is staggeringly similar. Being somewhat of a retro game where we're constantly treading the lines between past, future, and present, Oxenfree uses the shortwave radio. Shortwave radio, we can all recognize from some of the more mainstream low-fidelity music. It has that signature distorted sound with crackles and high pitches and low bass, which almost make it completely incoherent at times. Shortwave radio was not only important to the United States operations back in the days of Sixth Creek, which is a name that aged like milk, by the way. Sixth Creek, if I'm saying that right, please don't kill me, simply means phony or fake, and World War II was given this name because early in the war, after the war was already declared, no fighting was taking place. We all saw how that ended. Shortwave radio played a massive role in the operations of the United States military in the realm of long-distance communication between aircrafts, ships, troops, and the like. It was also used in pushing pro-United States propaganda into the ears of U.S. citizens on a daily basis, often giving false reports of what was actually going on in the war. You can look at Vietnam and see where soldiers were often forced to inflate enemy casualty numbers, and the actual amount of casualties the United States took was underreported. It's fucking disgusting. One of the major things shortwave radio was utilized in was the interception and decoding of enemy transmissions. Obviously, knowing what your enemy is going to do and when they're going to do it gives a massive upper hand, but the decoding of foreign radio frequencies aligns perfectly with the primary topic of today's video, Oxenfree. More importantly, this ties into Maggie Adler, as her entire career and later on her entire life was devoted to tuning into radio frequencies. Maggie Adler, who was enlisted in the United States Army, was stationed right here at Fort Milner. While she was recruited straight out of college as a communications officer, her life quickly took a massive turn that we'll learn about in today's video. The story of Maggie Adler will be a tragic story that mirrors so many people who have been in the military. One of the letters she leaves behind for us to find is quite foreboding. She states, "To whoever is finding these notes, understand my hope is that by enshrouding this intelligence in such an obtuse manner, its detection will discourage most innocent seekers, thereby allowing it to befall the correct person and not the easily distracted military mind, nor the typically bewildered excursionist. Do not blame the submarine's crew. I don't believe its passengers like Henry Griffin can even understand what has truly happened to them. And you do not have to forgive me for my myriad failures, but please remember the name Anna Shea. Know that she did not deserve her fate." In somewhat of a sub-story in the background, these letters strewn throughout the game and the rock anomalies, we can catch a glimpse into the mysteries of Edwards Island and the realities of regret and grief. It is in my firm belief that Oxenfree captures quite beautifully the reality of how these emotions affect us in our day-to-day lives. The significance of coming to grips with reality and realizing that you cannot change the past. Understanding the significant fact that someone will always lose, and to put it simply, life isn't fair. Oxenfree also begs the question of, would I change the past if I could? And is the perfect outcome even possible? What exactly are the consequences to myself or those around me if I can indeed manipulate these realities? And these are some of the things I'd like to discuss today in this video. Exactly how Oxenfree uncovers, dissects, and articulates the human experience in a two-dimensional world. Please enjoy. I spent a lot of time on this video, so thank you. Coming from the studio that developed Afterparty, Mr. Robot, 1.51 Exfiltration, and the continuation of this game, Oxenfree Lost Signals. Oxenfree was unveiled by Not School Studios nearly a decade ago in January of 2016. I'm late, I know. as a two-dimensional team thriller adventure game about a group of friends who discover a portal to additional realities through radio frequencies. In Oxenfree, the player will control Alex, a 17-year-old teenager, as she brings along her stepbrother Jonas to an overnight excursion at Edwards Island. Adam Hines, along with Sean Krenkel, set out to make their own experience unlike any other game that was currently on the market. They wanted to develop a game with an emphasis on player interactivity with the characters and the story being told, a goal they had which was more than accomplished. This is showcased by the substantial amount of lines of dialogue in this 3-hour game. Oxenfree showboats a staggering 12,000 lines of dialogue. This is also enhanced by the sheer number of choices and conversation we have when Alex is conversing with herself or her friends throughout the night. As we can see here, in any given conversation, Alex has 1 to 3 options when responding to conversations. There's actually a fourth, semi-hidden option where she has the choice to not say anything at all. Playing the game in this manner was definitely frustrating for me because there are so many things I wanted to respond to during gameplay, but it does make sense when you're playing New Game Plus. I imagine the events of Edwards Island are very traumatizing, and going through that experience again would definitely mentally cripple anyone subjected to it. I wouldn't want to speak at all either. However, there's a trophy for playing the game this way, and you know I got it. Adam Hines also mentions in an interview that the idea of Oxenfree was to create a coming-of-age story, where you essentially choose how you come of age. A sub-objective of this was to ensure that the control was never taken out of the player's hands, meaning to stray away from the cliche cutscenes in games or the quick-time events that make you feel like you're in control, but you really aren't. If the team could successfully embody these elements and include them in the game, that would result in a seamless link from the player to the character and the character to the world. While viewing or playing Oxenfree, you'll notice the distinctive environmental art of Edwards Island, along with the entirely unique designs of the characters. The island itself exhibits beautiful environments that lack detail while still giving the feeling that something is not quite right. The use of lighting and shadows during the night bring a focus to specific centerpieces within the game, such as the bonfire, naturally drawing our eyes to it. The subtle rays of light from the bloom of the moon bring the characters to the forefront of the screen in these simple moments. Fort Milner and Edwards Island are heavily influenced by World War II era design and atmosphere. When you get to Fort Milner, about the midsection of the game, you'll see that it's very dark and deserted. It looks as if someone or something came through and completely ravaged the place. The building is falling apart, leaving entire sections of the inside exposed to the elements. You'll see the deserted beds in the barracks rooms. Vines litter the walls as if nobody has been inside this place for years. Mirrors are broken. Doors and windows are boarded up. There are old classrooms with tables and chairs stacked in an obscene manner in the corners. Papers are taped above the whiteboard in a frenzied manner, and banners hang from the ceiling. No doubt these consist of army propaganda and other notes on communications with shortwave radios. These elements all match whatever is going on currently in the story and combine to give the player the sensation of impending doom. The character design in Oxenfree is relatively simple, but it fits the message and aesthetic of the game. These characters lack the hard lines that normal characters have in other video games. The inclusion of this tiny detail successfully makes us feel as if these characters are a memory rather than a true reality. The clothing choices that have been chosen for each character fits their personalities. They aren't wearing anything obnoxious. They're dressed like normal teenagers. Take Nona, for example, a character who is rather reserved, and she's closest to Clarissa. She's wearing a turtleneck with a long sleeve shirt, a beanie on her head, and she's almost completely covered up. We'll see it in the game itself, but if I had to truly guess her character personality based on her outfit, I could get pretty close. Or have a look at Clarissa, the older friend of the group. She's dressed more maturely. I'd argue almost in business casual clothing. Clarissa looks like someone who is about to attend college. Her hair is nicely kept, although it is reminiscent of the Karen cut, which definitely fits her personality. Not too much on her right now though, because I have a lot to say about her later on. The point is, these small but very important details add to the game's immersion and storytelling without taking away from it. Imagine if Kratos were dressed like an emo high schooler. Yeah, you see what I mean. This is a prime example of developers showing us who the characters are, rather than flat out telling us. Heather Gross, the lead artist of Oxenfree, is primarily responsible for the amazing attention to detail provided in this experience. Heather mentions that when thinking about the environmental art and characters, she was heavily influenced by the animated fantasy films The Secret of Kells, along with The Song of the Sea. These are two films duly noted for their watercolor aesthetic and their complex way of conveying emotion through perspective. Heather also pulled great inspiration from the late Tyrus Wong, noting that he had an amazing eye for simply hinting at feelings and entire objects instead of deliberately drawing out every single detail. Tyrus Wong grew notoriety with his paintings often being in the Mid-Journey style. If you want an exact definition on what Mid-Journey art style is, it just means painting in a way that looks dreamy. Mid-Journey artworks evoke a sense of fantasy and serenity. His paintings are more focused on emotion and ideas rather than drawing out every detail. As we can see here with Deer on Cliff, The Cove, and Imaginary Landscape number 1 and number 2, he was absolutely masterful at mending real life and dreamlike elements that feel both abstract and familiar. An artist and art style that matches the art direction of Oxenfree. When looking at the characters and environments of Oxenfree next to Tyrus Wong's paintings, you can see the similarities between the two pieces of media. They're eerily similar without completely stealing his style. Heather Gross has successfully captured and repurposed the way of Wong, while simultaneously adding her own spice to the mix. I'm funny, I know. The characters are drawn in a way that isn't overly detailed, so what we're left with is an idea along with our imagination. Like I said previously, they're drawn in a way that doesn't make them feel definite, much like the story of Oxenfree. Taking a look at these simple trees, for instance, obviously we know that this is, in fact, a tree.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
One might even be able to surmise what type of tree it is. This one may be a golden larch, but I don't know. I'm not an arborist, and that isn't the point of this video. The lack of detail in the environment and these trees leaves us with something more impactful than seeing a fully fleshed out tree. What's left for us is a feeling. We're left to decide exactly what the color of these trees makes us feel. What does the specific shade or size of this tree say about the environment it's in? The art style in Oxenfree gives the player some leeway in creating their own sub-story within the story, and that is what makes this game's art so intelligible. With Alex's journey taking place over the course of an entire night, you can imagine how hard it was to convey emotions and to initiate certain thoughts in players' heads. Achieving the correct shades, tones, and the proper colors in the literal darkness of night was surely no easy feat. So big shout out to Heather Gross and the other artists who put in the hard work to make the art in this game possible. Another detail to mention here, while we're talking about environmental art, this game is completely two-dimensional minus the three-dimensional characters in it. I didn't even notice this until watching some behind-the-scenes developer interviews, but for example, when you're walking up a stairway and it appears as if Alex is going backwards or forwards, she actually isn't. That absolutely blew my mind. This is simply amazing artistry by all involved. The fact that she's doing this, and it looks like she's going deeper into the level, is quite literally insane to me. And one thing I would love to note here is the absolute lack of yellow paint syndrome this game has. Yeah, we're looking at you, A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead. Holy fuck, that was bad. You can turn off the setting in A Quiet Place, but why even subject us to this in the first place? It's hideous. I digress. Fortunately, for the purposes of this video, my channel lacks every single requirement to be monetized, so I can truly showcase the exquisite musical score of this game. Please don't strike me, YouTube. I've worked entirely too hard on this video, and all credit will be given where it's due. Andrew Rohrman, the man responsible for the soundtrack of Oxenfree. Funnily enough, the reason he was even able to undertake the score of Oxenfree was because he knew Sean Krenkel from many years back. One day, Sean was signing a petition, and as he's in the middle of conjuring this game, he saw Andrew's name at the very bottom of it and called him up. The rest is history. Andrew is responsible for the music in various games such as this one, Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, Virtual Reality 2, and Jet, The Far Shore. To be frank with you here, this man creates bangers. That's all you need to know about him.
I know banger.
In one of his developer interviews, Andrew mentions that he isn't a purist when it comes to creating music. Does that sound a bit familiar? Kind of like the rock anomalies we'll see in this game. Imperfect, staticky, incoherent, which again fits the themes of this game amazingly. While making the music for this game, he used reel-to-reels to get that unsettling sound. Kind of like Something Is Broken. Reel-to-reel, aka open reel recording, means a type of audio or data recording that utilizes magnetic tape spooled between two reels. So what he's talking about essentially is these things. This man, Andrew Rorman, literally bought a World War II era radio. He learned how to use it, and then he implemented that shit into the game. Not only that, but the signature shortwave radio sounds that this game has come from buying 200 feet of copper wire, getting on top of his roof, and using it as an antenna. What a chat. Never questioned his dedication to the craft. Thus, the music in Oxenfree was made with an idea in mind, to provide subtle foreshadowing and to have associated themes with characters. Simply meaning not reusing the exact same song over and over, but rather keeping a consistent melody. So say for instance, when Alex enters a room, or she does something important, we'll hear a melody consistent with her instead of the same music. As we all know, the soundtrack of a game can completely uplift it into a new experience. A game that comes to mind when I think of a masterful story intertwining with an amazing soundtrack is God of War 2018, which just so happens to be my favorite game of all time. The incorporation of the music in Oxenfree sets the tone perfectly before the player even knows what they're getting into. It tells a very important sub-story, and that sub-story is, quite frankly, dealing with despair, grief, and inevitable human emotions. The soundtrack of Oxenfree acts as a cohesive force for every other element in this game. It meshes seamlessly with the environment and the art to achieve a feeling that can genuinely only be described as lonely, uplifting, uneasy, dense, and horrifying all at once.
Blood from the sky makes the planet shine.
Blood on the dirt makes the planet shine. Blood in the ground makes the planet shine.
Come out.
When building the mechanics of Oxenfree, a key thing for developers to keep in mind was the main mechanics of the game and how they make and keep them fun. A core and essential mechanic is communication, whether that being conversation between Alex and her friends or communication over the radio to the supernatural beings of times past. Not only this, but lead engineer Brian Cannon had to keep track of over 12,000 lines of dialogue when creating the code of this game. He mentions in a behind-the-scenes interview from Skybound that the three major games he took inspiration from were Limbo, Super Brothers, Sword and Sorcery, and Telltale Games' The Walking Dead. But to be fair, literally what game developers haven't?
I'll miss you.
Me too.
Telltale's The Walking Dead is easily in the top 10 most influential games of all time. Well, at least seasons 1 and 2 anyway. Also, apologies for giving you PTSD there. A moment of silence for my man Lee Everett. You have been missed. One of the major promises Oxenfree had was the capability to converse freely while maintaining complete control of your Alex. A promise that was surely delivered on, and almost too much to be honest. As you'll see throughout the game, you're never really halted when you're having a conversation. In the middle of saying anything, you can interact with the environment and progress the story, completely cutting off Alex or anyone around her while they're talking. Usually, the characters pick up the conversation where they were cut off, except when progressing the story, if I'm correct, which is quite frustrating but understandable. Giving the player this much control almost works against Oxenfree, but as long as you take your time with this game, you'll be fine. I just recommend that when playing this game, you exercise a bit of patience so that you don't miss out on any side conversations. This is in part and majorly due to the coding of this game. As you'll notice, for damn near every line of dialogue that characters speak, they have a unique animation, thus leading us more into that immersion that games try so hard to capture. One last topic before we dive into the story of Oxenfree, I just want to give a huge shout out to the voice actors who we'll see as the game opens. At no point in this game did the chosen voice actors hinder any moment, no matter how emotional, crucial, or comical any given instance was supposed to be. They handled their roles effortlessly and helped tie this game together in a major way. With the developers hitting every other aspect of Oxenfree, these voice actors were the cherry on top to solidify the fluidity of this experience. These characters sound genuine, and that is relatively hard to do. I know the entire point of hiring voice actors in video games is to make them sound like humans, but as we all know, there are more than a couple of games that miss this mark entirely. No shade, and no, I'm not uplifting by bringing other games down. I just want to stress how outstanding the voice acting in this game is, as you'll come to see. One of the things I learned when researching while creating this video is that Oxenfree is technically an ARG, which is an alternate reality game. An ARG usually includes a type of storytelling that includes real-life elements with the fictional narrative of a video game. The folks over at Skybound and Night School Studios put together a real-life scavenger hunt where they pretty much just dropped Easter eggs from the game that led to a real-life location. The hunt took months and months of some dedicated people translating Morse code from music and transmissions from the game itself, but there's a dope video about it from Upleft's channel that I'll link in the description below that you should definitely check out. The video just documents the journey as this group of dedicated fans of Oxenfree piece the puzzle together until its climax. Very cool video. Like I said, the link is in the description below. Also, I did a video on Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals, although that video's garbage. It's definitely not as polished as this one and has a lot more technical issues. It was one of my first videos ever and, whatever. But it still might be worth the watch. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, my name is Lumryic and welcome to the definitive documentary of Oxenfree. This video took a lot of time to make, so please enjoy. Thank you. Bye.
It used to be a military base. Well, it used to be a ranching thing, then it was turned into an army thing, then it became a bird thing and a museum or whatever. Henry Fonda stationed here, I think, for a bit, unless he was Navy.
Who's Henry Fonda?
Around Christmas time, this little breakfast place used to sell these amazing polar bear sugar cookies. Man, those were good. And then one year they changed the formula or whatever and ruined it.
The story of Oxenfree arguably begins at 8 p.m., or 2000 for you Universal Time folks, with Alex, Ren, and Jonas on a boat heading towards Edwards Island. In the midst of Ren's ramblings about Edwards Island, we're introduced to a core mechanic of this game, the dialogue tree. The dialogue tree will be the primary way that you, or rather Alex, will interact with the world and the secondary characters. We get some really good exposition about Edwards Island here from our subject matter expert, Ren. Ren tells us that Edwards Island actually used to be an operational military base, then it was a tourist/attraction, museum, and so on and so forth. During the group's conversations, we learn a little bit about Jonas, Alex's stepbrother as well. Tonight is Jonas's first night in Kamina. Jonas has just arrived this morning and still hasn't finished unpacking his things, which is genuinely insane. Can you imagine moving to a new place and your first night being this cursed? Jonas and his father moved to Kamina after his father met Alex's mother after mistaking her for an employee at a resort in Orlando while he was on vacation. Before the ferry ride ends, Ren teaches Alex how to use the handheld radio that he asked her to bring. The radio, as we'll see, will be the #1 mechanic and driver of the story as we progress through the night. Unfortunately, this seemingly mundane radio will turn out to be the worst thing that has ever happened to Alex in her entire short life. Over the course of about 12 hours, we'll use this radio to try to get out some of the fuckery that was left behind by a certain someone. The radio is not only an important mechanic used to progress the main story, but we can also use it to uncover these rock anomalies scattered around the island to gather a better idea about exactly what happened here.
The island is famously named after Colonel Caleb Edwards for his glorious and triumphant slaughtering of countless families during one of the great ethnic cleansings of the 20th century. The forceful removal of an ignorant people to make space for destined holders is a time-honored tradition in our still young country, and you will be a part of that heritage, Alex. Do not resist. It will be over soon.
These Karen anomalies are also excellent at world building. I don't know if you caught it, but the audio you heard at the very beginning of the video was actually one of these various rock anomalies placed around the map. You can use the radio to listen to some pretty chill tunes as well. Also, right there, at the top of the boat, we see a dark silhouette of a woman. That's Sea Captain Karen, as Ren tells us. Not much is said about her throughout the story, or even on the wiki. Sea Captain Karen is said to be either a friend of Ren's family, or she's secretly dating Ren's aunt, as he mentions later on in the game. Her presence at the top of the boat actually does a few things to add to the world building of this game. Obviously, she's a dark, faceless character piloting the boat to essentially make the story possible, but she actually intertwines with the underlying themes of Oxenfree. Firstly, she's the earliest reminder in this game that we can look to that helps us understand that stories and people in this world often exist without a resolution. Oxenfree proudly presents Sea Captain Karen and makes us bask in the fact that we get little to no answers, such as life often does. That and the way in which the teens inquire about her is 100% true to life. They don't give a rat's ass about who she is. You can choose to ask about her, but in doing so, Ren gives some half-ass explanation as to why she's bringing them to an island at night, and nobody bats an eye about it ever again. This is a perfect example of how I used to think as a teen. As long as my needs were being met and I was having fun and I was getting from point A to point B, I did not care. Other than being an essential point of the game to drive the plot forward, Sea Captain Karen also opens up a major aspect of this game and highlights it from the jump. Interpretation and open-endedness. We're left to our own devices with the minute details we have about Sea Captain Karen, and in that we create our own ideas about this character based on how and what we feel. She's a very small detail that's easy to miss, and like I said earlier, if you don't ask about her, nobody says anything. So hypothetically, you can be completely clueless as to who she is, or say maybe you don't care about her existence. That's fine. You literally don't have to. It's up to the player. There's no punishment for doing so, only dialogue. Another thing the existence of Sea Captain Karen does so well is introduce us to the fact that we might ever get the full story. Yes, knowing the complete story about someone or something, especially in a video game, is satisfying and often expected from players to have some sort of conclusion to a story, to achieve closure, so to speak. Sea Captain Karen doesn't provide this clarity, she just is, and we, as the player, have to deal with that. I think that's powerful. A lot of the art in this game and the themes in the story are meant to make us think and feel rather than simply being shoved into our faces and tell us what our mood should be while playing. Simple additions as these are why I adore Oxenfree. While this game is indeed short, sitting at about 3 to 4 hours for a blind playthrough, this game makes every second count. Every line of dialogue and every frame means something. This short but sweet boat ride accomplished a few things that support the game as a whole while simultaneously preparing the player for what's to come. In just a few minutes, the player understands exactly what they can and can't do within the world, meaning interacting with the environment, how to converse with Alex's friends to learn more about them or the world around them. The inclusion of the group photo they take before the boat ride ends seems as if it's something simple, but as the game progresses, these photos will become more than just fun memories. You will see the feelings of hopelessness that the group has as the night goes on. These photos honestly do a lot of world building on their own. Upon arrival at the island, you can totally choose to have a cigarette with Jonas. I didn't want my Alex to be a lame ass, so I obliged with no second thoughts. Then she proceeded to almost die.
You alright? They're filtered.
Yeah, no, it's just been a while.
You know, life is about the experience, okay? After the cigarette though, we immediately get a glimpse of that pristine teenage awkwardness in real time.
The guy to break us up already, but can I have like 2 real quick minutes with Alex for a second? And you can run up and meet your friends?
Really? Just...
Wait, is something wrong? What is it?
Nothing's wrong. It'll just take 2 minutes, super fast.
All right, bud. Look, I don't want to go up by myself. I mean, can't we just stick together? You're gonna have all night to say, like, whatever.
But since you want to meet up with your friends anyway...
We're all gonna meet up
Come on, Jonas, let's just all go up. I don't want to send Ren away like a deer hound.
Yeah, it's fine. And you can talk to Alex later. We're like at hour 1 here. You'll have ample family bonding time.
Yeah, fine, sure, no problem.
I don't know if it's just me, but that was a bit painful to watch. However painful, this interaction is rooted in reality. Jonas isn't the best at talking about sensitive subjects quite yet, and we can see that the teens can't really read the room, so to speak. We can also see here that Ren is a bit clingy and quite possibly even jealous of Jonas. Alternatively, you can stay back with Jonas and listen to what he has to say. I'll note really quickly that to even get to this point of the conversation, you need to press very specific dialogue options.
Going up ahead and we'll catch up with you.
Okay, I guess. Though this is a really strange way to start off, splitting up.
It'll be fast. Thanks, man.
I'll just be up the hill, in case. Whatever.
Ren seems nice. He's funny, you know? Reminds me of a guy I know back home.
Yeah, I mean, he's harmless. But, yeah, he's nice.
Listen, I just wanted to grab you ahead of time and say you've been cool about everything. And I guess it's just for me, I've never moved anywhere. And like getting a new family at the same time kind of feels like I'm skipping the training wheels. Not that it's been bad or anything. You and your mom have been great.
We'll make do. Lemons, lemonade, however that goes.
An optimist. Oh, Christ.
Yeah, I'm an optimist. And proud of it.
Oh, and thanks for setting up the attic for me. It's cool how it's like a little bedroom. I was in the basement at my old house, so this is...
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. I heard, I think from my mom that you,
Went to jail? Yeah, well, don't believe everything you hear. We can catch back up with Ren now. I didn't mean to take so long.
I didn't even know these lines existed until I started scripting this video. From simply choosing a different dialogue option, we gained affinity with Jonas. We learned that there's a person, presumably Alex's family member, named Mike, who is now dead. We also learned that Jonas's mother has also died. This can be a nice little bonding moment for Alex and Jonas, depending on your ability to read human emotions and choose the right lines of dialogue. Or, in typical Oxenfree fashion, you can simply not say anything and miss out on this conversation in its entirety. While I won't be showcasing the difference between every single dialogue option for this 3-hour game that includes over 12,000 lines of dialogue, I think that this one was important to show because it happens so early in the experience. It's also important to show because it's the basis for understanding truly how reactive the world is to Alex when she chooses to say something, say nothing, or do something. This little speech bubble that appears above a character's head will pop up whenever a character in the game impacts another one. Think about it as the karma system from Fallout New Vegas. If you choose a character's side or say something they agree with, you gain positive affinity with them. If you do the opposite, you'll gain negative affinity with them as well. So much negative affinity, in fact, you will actually make all of Alex's friends hate her. A terrible way to play, but I need this platinum trophy, so I will force myself to do it. Oxenfree does this amazing thing with this dialogue in a way that it forces you to sit there in almost real-life moments, through the awkwardness, through the arguments any characters might have, through the hard talks. It gives you the option of either navigating it, sort of fumbling your way through conversations as you would in real life, or you can miss these moments entirely, like I said earlier. But now that we somewhat understand how the affinity system works, we can continue. Walking through Edwards Island, albeit at night, we can see that it looks freshly desolate. You know, in those apocalypse movies where the downfall has just started and everything is abandoned but not completely worn down? That's what I was getting at. Rin mentions here in the midst of his Edwards Island lore drop that nobody else lives here on the island except an old geriatric woman named Mrs. Adler, and now Edwards Island is practically a tourist stop, which used to be bustling with life in every single gift shop. Now it has been relegated to a ghost town. Rin also briefly glosses over the fact that nobody is allowed here after dark. I'm sure that isn't foreshadowing something. I'm sure there isn't a reason for that. It's not like a group of teenagers, when left unsupervised, could permanently alter the fabric of space-time as we know it. Now that I think about it though, if it's common knowledge that nobody is allowed here after dark, we can only assume that Sea Captain Karen also knows this information. Which is insane because she's seemingly the only responsible adult within miles of this place. So she basically broke however many laws in exchange for Rin shoveling snow out of her yard. You know what? Hell yeah. I think that just made me like her even more. Moving on, as Alex and Jonas are learning about the island, Rin mentions loosely that within Edwards Island are housed the Weirdo Caves. These caves are phenomena where you can tune into very specific frequencies and hear strange, often creepy things within them. Atop the stairs, we can actually tune into a monument that uses the lone piece of debris from the wreckage of the USS Kanaloa, the submarine that Jacob Summers is so obsessed with in the second game. If you sacrificed him or made him feel bad in any way, shame on you. For real, he might be the best character in the Oxenfree series. Definitely top 3. He's one of those characters who almost overtakes the protagonist entirely. Mini ran over. The USS Kanaloa was launched way back in 1941, where it was eventually sunk 2 years later by a Japanese subchaser. The ship and its crew will play a huge role in the story moving forward. I think the developers including it here and foreshadowing its existence while interlacing it with the critical game elements was pretty cool. In Rin's continuous rambling, we learned that Maggie Adler has never left the island since her arrival, which we can assume was during World War II, which I will assume has been over 60 years at this point. Rin also lets the cat out of the bag on the fact that Alex intends to leave Kamina to attend college. He has a problem with this, and he tries to hide it behind the fact that he will miss her, but this is a very, very clever use of foreshadowing by the developers. We'll return to this conversation in just a few minutes. The three proceed to commit various crimes and trespass, but with dance. Quick second to take a look at the map here, so you guys have some context for the locations later in the game. On the way to the party, Rin takes this opportune last second moment to mention a girl named Nona. He's crushing on Nona uber hard, and he asks Alex not to be weird about it.
I hear you over there.
Hey, guys.
Wait, I was about to tell a story. What was it?
About Brad's car?
Oh, well, that can wait.
Hey.
We started a fire down the way, but Nona wanted to play beach nanny, so...
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
And Jonas, that's...
Who are you?
Jonas.
That's Jonas. He's Alex's new in town, fresh as a daisy stepbrother.
Stepbrother.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's a trip, right?
Yeah, he's a cool guy from cool North Valley, so let's all try and show him a good time.
Just the beach and some beer will be enough, I'm sure.
Wait. You're Jonas. Jonas, the stepbrother.
Yeah, what's your name again?
That is Clarissa.
How
but
are you her
she's
stepbrother? Like, what does that even mean?
My mom married his dad, so family law and all.
Yeah, well, I guess this is happening now. This is a thing that is happening, so... Where's everyone else?
Nicole had that tennis thing.
And?
There's nobody else coming. We're it.
What?
Clarissa, we took the last ferry. I thought more would show up, but...
Oh my god, it's just Alex and her new stepbrother? Huh, that's it. That's who you brought. That's the group.
Come on, Clarissa. I'm fun. I'm hip. I'm with it.
Listen to yourself.
Wait, aren't you all, like, friends?
I'm friends with Nona, and I'm downgrading Ren to, like, a creepy neighbor. And you I just met.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
getting...
sorry.
I accept your apology.
Thanks.
Alright, I'm going to say what we're all thinking. Clarissa is simply a bitch. She acts in this manner for a reason, but my judgment of her remains, which means she's written effectively. But if that exchange wasn't bad enough, she completely disregards Alex and puts Jonas, who is a guy she didn't even know the existence of until literal seconds ago, in her weird hierarchical friend rankings. Not that her opinion means anything.
There's whale poo, and then there's you.
It means fuck all, actually. Suffice it to say, Clarissa really gets under my skin, and her vain acts only snowball from this point forward. Her next act of douchebaggery happens mere minutes later at the beach while everyone is attempting to have a good time. Clarissa is a prime, more brash, and less subtle example of how the characters in Oxenfree are made known to you immediately. First impressions are everything, and man, does Night School Studio handle them well. You don't need to spend countless hours with characters in media to gather what kind of person they are. We don't need hundreds of hours to understand a character's tendencies if they are written well. You don't need 780 hours of experience to elicit emotion from players or to make them feel a certain way. Does more time with characters help? Yes, it can. In some cases, but this is not necessary. A case in which this doesn't work would be Dying Light 2, Aiden or his sister.
Aiden, quick! This way to the kitchen!
Eliciting emotions from players and accurately conveying things like who a character is or their viewpoints in such a short amount of time can only be done if the writing is on point and done intentionally. If you need another example of this, just head back to the first couple of seconds after the game started and listen to Ren. After Clarissa is done with the first of her many passive-aggressive fits, the group heads into the beach, where most of the activities of the night were supposed to take place. Jonas inquires about the whereabouts of Maggie Adler and her living situation. Then we find out from Clarissa that Maggie Adler recently passed away about 3 days ago, and of course Clarissa is the one to break that type of news. Edwards Island's longest living resident has passed. I couldn't find her exact age, but the wiki said she was in her mid-70s and that she died of natural causes. This conversation eventually leads to a fun, quote-unquote, game of truth or slap, formerly known as Hippo. This is essentially Oxenfree's version of Truth or Dare, and if you know anything about alcohol mixed with Truth or Dare, you know that there is no reality or timeline in which this game ends well for any of the participants involved. Keeping within the themes that Oxenfree loves to carry, you'll know that this isn't simply just a child's game, where your participation means nothing. If you remember earlier, Ren asked us not to be weird or say anything about his crush on Nona. This comes up almost immediately during the game. Clarissa asks Ren if he wants to sample Nona's goods. Quick side note here, Clarissa is literally smoking a cigarette. If you can smoke a cigarette and be angry as fuck, you can definitely not beat around the bush and speak plainly about sex when you're speaking. But that's Clarissa, and that's teenagers in a nutshell, just picking and choosing when to be adults when it's convenient to them. You can choose to be a good friend here or not when Ren inevitably lies about his feelings for Nona. And honestly, I don't know why you would choose to be a dick here other than for trophy purposes. I'm not going to fib here. On my first playthrough, I decided to keep Ren's secret to spite Clarissa. You can also call Ren out for his lie and slap the shit out of him. There's a trophy for doing that. This interaction between Ren and Alex is very important though, because it starts to lay the foundation between Alex and Ren for the rest of the night. They are indeed best friends, but as we'll see, Ren is very moody and he takes damn near everything personally. But for trophy purposes, I must say that you can call Ren out on his lie in front of everyone and slap the shit out of him. Of course, this has super negative consequences for their relationship. This is the path you would take if you want a specific trophy pertaining to Alex, where she makes all of her friends hate her. A trophy which I still haven't earned yet, because it goes against all fibers of my being to be a complete piece of shit. Alex gets hit with the seemingly inevitable marry, screw, kill question. If you choose to not answer here, it will be seen as a forfeit, and who else other than Clarissa to provide the slap? Of course she does. The developers aren't making it easy to sympathize with this woman at all. But in a funny twist of fate, which is probably the developers using the human tendency of revenge against the player, Alex's turn is next. Of course I chose to ask Clarissa a question, which, in hindsight, wasn't the best option here. At this point in the game, asking Clarissa who she likes actually leads to some pretty dark foreshadowing, unbeknownst to me at the time. Asking Clarissa who she likes will lead to one of the best uses of foreshadowing in this entire game. Clarissa delivers a line here, subtly giving us more context, albeit brief. The conversation that ensues afterward can only be described as a downward spiral of unresolved regret, anger, and blame.
Oh boy.
Yes, Mom?
This is pretty fun just watching, I'll admit. Well, wait.
Do you like anyone? Like anyone?
There's no one in school worth liking now.
Come on.
Ouch.
So no, I don't. But nice try.
Clarissa's turn now.
Alex, you got a new brother. Pretty exciting. I'm sure Jonas is excited, or maybe excited isn't the right word. Maybe a little overwhelmed with just everything, you know? Unsure. It's a lot to take in and adjust to.
I'm, fine with it, really.
Is there like a question coming or what?
I'm just saying what Jonas is already thinking. That statistics show if you get divorced once, you're probably gonna get divorced again. And the fact is, your mom divorced your dad. So let's put his mind at ease and hear why.
I don't really need
Okay, just get to whatever point this is getting to.
The point is, why'd your parents get a divorce? Just so Jonas can hear it from you.
Clarissa, I don't really care why they got a divorce. Just
You know why. Michael died and it broke everything and they couldn't handle it. The end.
Well, now you know, Jonas. Don't die and everything will be fine.
Okay, Clarissa,
What?
You know, guys, honestly, I think I'm pretty much ready to do anything else besides this game.
Wait, let's not stop like this. We should,
Game's over, Ren. I won. And to celebrate, I'm gonna sit on the beach and drink, and maybe, if I'm feeling spicy, even take a nap.
Maybe we could
And that's exactly what Nona's gonna do too.
Fine. Whatever. Be Miss Pouty on the beach all night if you want. I'm not gonna let you ruin this for me.
Wow. Okay then. Clarissa, ladies and gentlemen, with another outstanding performance. However, we did receive a few bits of context here. Michael is Alex's biological brother. He is dead, but for some reason Clarissa hates Alex because of this. The details aren't quite crystal clear yet, but we can assume that for whatever reason, Clarissa links Michael's death to Alex. After that question is over, Clarissa claims that she indeed won the game and ends it abruptly. However, say you choose to ask Jonas a question here instead. Alex will go on to ask him how he feels about being her stepbrother. But his response isn't important here. What I would like to point out is that after he answers, he chooses to ask Clarissa a question. That question being, who was the last person she made out with? Based on everyone's reaction and then Clarissa's answer, we can definitely put the pieces of the puzzle together here and assume that Michael and Clarissa at least had a thing going on at some point. With these few lines of completely missable dialogue and these simple reactions from the characters, we've gained so much more backstory on Clarissa and her hatred for Alex. Although it isn't quite clear yet exactly why, we're starting to understand a bit more. What I want to note about this entire interaction between Alex and Clarissa on the beach is the effect that grief, anger, and unresolved trauma can have on someone. If you're like me, then you're wondering how in the absolute fuck Michael could have been involved with someone as abhorrent as Clarissa. Especially if Michael was anything like Alex, and we can assume this because they're literally siblings. During this exchange on the beach, we get a glimpse of what we can infer at this point as grief and a myriad of other emotions manifested in their rawest form. Clarissa is the manifestation of festering emotional buildup that has nowhere to go. Clarissa has all of these emotions she hasn't dealt with appropriately and effectively, so she's choosing the easiest target to lash out at, Alex. This happens all too often in real life, and Clarissa is the perfect caricature of this. We can only assume from this exchange that Clarissa and Alex had a previous, healthier relationship while Michael was alive. We can also assume that Clarissa wasn't always this way, and by this way I mean gross, rude, constantly interrupting others and not taking their wants or needs into consideration, her overall disgusting character, and only caring about her personal agenda being pushed. Which I can only surmise at this point is for everyone to see Alex as some sort of villainous murderer. Clarissa practically forces Nona to stay with her on the beach, sit down and sulk in her negative emotions with her. She wanted to slap Alex and took great pleasure in doing so. That wasn't all fun and games. Clarissa has been wanting to do that for a while. This is still a Clarissa hate account, as I said earlier, but we're beginning to slowly understand some of what she's dealing with. This is how grief can manifest in any of us. Either you've seen it, been this manifestation, or possibly both are true. After Clarissa so rudely ruins and ends the game and gets Nona to bask in her negativity with her, Jonas, Alex, and Ren decide to hit the nearby cave. If you would like Nona and Ren to date, this is a major turning point for their relationship. There are a couple points in the game where Alex can vouch for Ren to Nona. At the time of writing the script, I don't have the trophy for getting them to date, And honestly, I don't know how. I feel like I've done everything in my power to get those two together, but I'll figure it out. If you weren't a shit friend to Ren and rat him out about his feelings on Nona to Clarissa, this is where he'll thank you for it. This is the first instance in the game besides the monument where we can interact with the cave frequency phenomena. But before that, Ren decides to face an entire edible, and he doesn't share, by the way. That's insane work. For some reason, Jonas has a problem with weed when he literally smokes cigarettes, which makes zero sense. Just like earlier when Ren had a huge issue with Jonas smoking the squares. Hypocrites. Just a little something I noticed. Ren eventually shows us the Karen anomalies and we tune into them.
Wow, it's even cooler than I thought it would be. This is insane.
I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's because I'm black, but everything about what we just heard just screamed at me, hell nah. Future me, please remember to edit out the correct footage so I don't look like a dumbass. They even comment on how these anomalies sound scary, painful, and even satanic. This is where the night's events go downhill perpetually. Jonas sees something in the cave, and he has the bright idea to go find the source of the light. In Jonas's defense though, although we are at an early point in the game, it might not have even been his idea to wander into the cave. I think the anomalies had something to do with this, because as we'll see later, these entities have the capability of possessing bodies. It's 10 p.m. when Alex eventually shuffles after Jonas into the cave. Alex is absolutely goated at traversal and parkour, by the way. These caves are ominous, of course, but they also hold symbolism for things we can't quite understand yet. At first, we see simple items such as an ashtray and a pen. We're left to wonder who exactly would leave these items here. Then we see graffiti on the cave walls in the form of an open-ended phrase that says, "Saw a man about a dog." When Alex finally catches up to Jonas, they decide to leave, but not before hearing those haunting shortwave, almost person-like sounding screams. Alex is literally begging Jonas to leave at this point. She breaks the fourth wall and funnily mentions that they're going to be the idiots that the horror film watchers scream at. Progressing into the heart of the cave though, the pair come into an open area that has some old furniture and the finished piece of the phrase we saw earlier. Saw the man but not the dog. I had no idea what this phrase meant, so me being the detective I am, I conducted approximately 20 seconds of research. If you're wondering as to what the phrase, "see a man about a dog, saw the man but not the dog" means, it's simply an older phrase used when you're trying to keep people out of your business. Plainly speaking, it means that I have something to do, but I don't want you to know exactly what I'm doing. If you're wondering what it could mean in this context, that's a topic we'll be visiting later. Alex attempts to speak into this intercom looking thing within the cave, and if it wasn't bad before, this is definitely where it all goes bad. Now that I think about it, the night probably went badly before all of this, as soon as we entered the caves, because at this point, if you try to leave the cave, you literally can't. You have to progress with the fuckery that's about to happen, meaning that the fates for Alex and everyone on this island are sealed. You can sit here for as long as you want and try to evade reality, but the truth is that the little triangle up there that's barely visible always wins. But let me backtrack a bit really fast. It's worth mentioning that you cannot not enter the cave, no matter what you do, which is kind of disappointing considering that not entering the cave could have been an alternate Easter egg type ending. However, this lack of choice quite closely mirrors the themes of Oxenfree itself. We don't get to opt out of the cave here. Just like we don't get to opt out of the situations that life throws us into. Oxenfree never operates under the guise that the player is in control of their fate. We're forced to sit down in the inevitability and bask in it. Imagine though, you just choose not to enter the cave and Jonas comes back out of it looking like a dumbass. Jonas doesn't have a radio, so the night would have unfolded as intended. I'm super surprised the developers didn't include this as an alternate ending considering the insane trophy list for this game. Like the amount of playthroughs I've had to do so far and I don't have the platinum trophy is crazy. But not including this as an option does mesh well with the main themes of this game, like I said. You can't change the preordained. Alex takes her trusty dusty radio and tunes into the faded triangles. With the portal open and hell unleashed on Earth, we receive a brief visit from the anomalies that are. The scene gives me chills every single time.
Jonas.
Hello? Dear, ditto every line.
Hello?
Sleepy.
Time.
Yeah, everything.
Fine.
Whole
Things. There.
same.
Don't know. If leave is possible.
This is insane.
Who... Who are you on the...
Listen. Bobtail.
Sheep.
Tail.
Sleepy. Time.
Yeah. Is leave possible.
Maybe? But I don't really...
Bobtail. Leave. Children. Bye.
Others.
See you
Soon.
Alex!
What?
And the final, most memorable, iconic quote of the Oxenfree series is "Leave possible." That wasn't just simply a spooky, scary-ish scene in the game. The amount of foreshadowing the developers just dropped on us was actually insane. This just needs some time to cook, so we'll return to the scene a little later in the video. We see for a brief moment the seconds after the USS Canaloa was disintegrated, then Alex wakes up to Jonas panicking at the Dick Harden Tower. And yes, you heard that correctly. 11 p.m. swings around and we still have 9 entire hours to go. Alex and Jonas climb up the tower to turn off the power to the electric fence that was enclosing them. At this point, they're flustered, but they have no idea the horrors they've unleashed upon this now cursed island. But they do know that reality as they know it, or knew it, is completely fucked. At the top of the tower, they receive a call from Ren stating that the exact same thing happened to him. He woke up at the relay point. Clarissa also called the tower and said that she's in a similar predicament, but she woke up at Fort Milner. So not only did the portal affect Alex and Jonas, it affected everyone else, and we're left to wonder where the hell Nona is. At the conclusion of the phone calls, both Ren and Clarissa ask Alex to save them as soon as possible. This leaves us with a sneaky moral decision to make. Do you save Ren, your best friend, first? Or do you save Clarissa, even though she's been a major bitch up until this point? I suppose this is a test of compassion and personal values. Clarissa is more than a handful, as Jonas mentions, but she has the radio. The radio potentially means a faster means of escape from the island. Ren, on the other hand, has all the knowledge about the island, which can be seen as priceless in this scenario. Admittedly, on my first playthrough, I chose to save Ren, because I was going to do that anyway, no matter how hard Clarissa begged or pleaded, but the fact that Jonas was simping over Clarissa just made the decision that much easier for me, to be honest. I didn't even think about it. I made the decision immediately. This decision has major consequences and outcomes for Alex's relationship with Ren and Clarissa. It's one of the first times that this game really starts to show us that we have to make a decision. This can be seen as a battle of the lesser of two evils, so to speak. Depending on your viewpoint of either character, my point is, in the end, nobody can win here. There's no perfect solution to this predicament, no matter your intentions. And at the end of the day, that's not only Alex's reality, but ours as well. This decision affects Ren's relationships with everyone around him, specifically Alex and Nona. As far as how your decision will affect Alex's relationship with Clarissa, if you choose to save her first, she will indeed remember the entirety of the events of the night after the night is concluded. To be honest though, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, even if it does lead to her liking Alex. Imagine being the only person to remember the events of a night like this. That's a perpetual nightmare, a special type of hell. Imagine being able to remember the events of a night like this, but not having anyone to speak about it with. But you can take that route if you'd like. If you wish to befriend Clarissa once more, however, that may be an experience she deserves, depending on how you view her character. For the purposes of this video, we're saving Ren first. It is now 12 a.m. Quick trophy pop first though. On the way to Relay Point, Jonas and Alex run into an unpowered bridge ferry. This is quickly becoming a theme. Nothing is ever powered around here, dude. But I guess that makes sense, seeing as how it is the middle of the night. Upon opening the door to this shack, the pair runs into something strange. Red lights. This will be the first time we see a red light in this manner during the night, but from this point forward, after tuning into the correct frequency, we know what time it is. After tuning the radio, we hear a small tune, one that Jonas immediately identifies as one that his mother used to play frequently. I'm sure that has no significance, right? I'm sure that won't pop up again, right? Tuning into the correct frequency of the light somehow fixed the power station though. Stepping out of the shack, we can see a random chair that wasn't there before, reminiscent of the random objects and furniture we saw in the very first cave about an hour ago. If we travel up the hill, we can listen to one of the various rock anomalies we can find throughout the island.
Well, how do you know you're Bobby Dunbar? I know who I am, and I know who you are, and nothing else makes a difference.
For a brief moment, Alex mentions to Jonas that she used to come to Edwards Island with her brother Michael. Then we delve deeper into the timelines. A time loop happens. At first, Alex is the only one of the two to notice and understand this. And Jonas repeats the same sentence again and again until he gets that feeling of deja vu. With each loop, a new item appears in our reality. The first time it was the tent. The second loop made the campfire appear. And the third loop is the soccer ball. Funnily enough, Alex mentions here that it looks identical to the soccer ball she had as a child. She also mentions about it smelling bad. On the fourth loop, Jonas finally realizes that he is looping as well. And also on the fourth loop, the soccer ball starts moving by itself. Upon trying to kick it, Alex hardly makes it go anywhere. She mentions here that she needs to drink more milk. And I could be looking into things too deeply here, but my initial thought was that this is a metaphor of things from the past weighing heavily on our shoulders if we don't know how to carry them properly. Kind of like Michael's death is weighing her down in a sense. Or I'm completely overthinking it, and it could be the ghost just fucking around. The ghosts start communicating with Alice directly through a radio and mimicking her. Then, right after we get this sort of manifestation of what they could look like after one burns itself into the side of this crumbling building. Holy shit, that's terrifying. It looks like something out of hell. And somehow the eyes didn't burn into the brick itself. Yeah, these things are nothing to fuck around with. Alex loops yet again, but this time Jonas isn't with her. Instead, Alex gazes down in her own reflection in the water, except when we move around, the reflection doesn't follow. It's stationary and is trying to speak to her. While extremely brief, a dialogue option pops up, and you can choose an answer here. Guys, this is Alex from the future, or the past. We can't be quite sure yet, but this version of Alex seems to be trying to give herself advice before the events of the night get even worse. I personally believe this is a method of her trying to change the future events that may happen, and you can only imagine how she feels realizing this in real time. At first, she thought they were fucking around, but this is simply something she has to deal with now. There's no going back. We can only move forward. However, in typical Oxenfree fashion, this leaves us with more questions than answers. The main one being, which Alex is this, and what is she talking about? Alex asks one of three questions to her future or past self, and then we're kicked back yet again for another loop. This time, Jonas has returned. During this loop, a magnetophone appears, one of the recurring types of puzzles in this game. These puzzles aren't hard, but they're another little fun callback to World War II. Germany used magnetophones in World War II primarily for radio broadcasting and their military communications. I was doing research on this gadget, and apparently it was a closely guarded secret that the Allies had no idea existed until the end of the war. The Allied forces actually thought the broadcasts from German magnetophones were high-quality broadcasts. That is until 1945 happened, and in the midst of invading Germany, the Allied forces found two of them and uncovered their technology. Essentially, if we are ever stuck in a loop, spooling these magnetophones at the correct speed will temporarily solve the loop and allow us to progress forward. Alex and Jonas eventually run into Nona, who was alone, devastated, and confused all at once. Although seeing her in this state is not preferred, it is a good sight to see her because we couldn't pinpoint her whereabouts at the Hard Dick Tower. Initiating conversation, she will order us to not come anywhere near her. She mentions that she has already run into Alex and Jonas mere minutes ago, which did not end well. Apparently this other Alex spoke to Nona about her grandfather, and at this point Nona is understandably unsure if we're the real Alex, but we can reassure her that we are. Jonas tells her to head up to the tower and wait for us to gather Clarissa and Ren, If you try to approach Nona during this conversation, she'll just run away and go to the communications tower anyway, which is kind of disappointing to be honest. I mean, the tower's probably the best place to go anyway, but I would have liked to go on a hunt for Nona as well. I would have liked the option for the group to have ample bonding time looking for her. Maybe not listening to her could have led to some consequences for Alex's and Nona's relationship. Similar to the way it does in Lost Signals. If Riley doesn't listen to Violet at Charity Point, I don't know, just a suggestion I had. After relocating Nona to the tower, we head up to Relay Point to link up with Ren. Before the proper pleasantries are given, we loop again. This time Ren seems somewhat out of sorts. We can temporarily fix its internal loop with the magnetophones. Then we find Ren in a zombie-like state. We walk over to Ren and start tuning his ass up because we remember the red light symbolism.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It turns into an exorcism, and then this happens.
Jesus, Ren, are you... Oh, God.
Talk through, child.
Feels stretched.
Better.
No.
Were you in Ren?
Ren. Kid.
Home. Voice. Sometimes.
But.
Do not.
Be scared. You
Our dolls would
never
plot.
Hurt.
you
Can.
Won't.
Hurt. You.
Can we, help you? Or...
leave.
Possible.
I don't know what you mean, so I can't...
Grounded.
By.
Adler.
The Margaret.
Pretty.
Little.
Poppy.
Maggie Adler. That old woman? What does she have to do with anything?
The.
Old woman. Was.
Young.
Once.
We were.
Young. Once.
Sit.
Still.
Bear. Fruit.
Tag.
Holy mother of God. You guys...
God, Ren.
Another portal, another conversation that leaves more questions than answers. From this conversation, we can assume that Maggie Adler has something to do with the insane phenomena happening on Edwards Island. We can further infer that these ghosts are trying to escape their own personal hell of infinite time as well. This is where the ghosts of Maggie Adler's past begin coming to light. Up until this point in the game, there have been a number of Adler letters scattered about the island. The player can pick these up whenever they see the indicator, which is this little sparkle on the screen. There are about 12 Adler letters scattered throughout Edwards Island that we can pick up. These letters are completely optional, but they slowly unveil the truth of the sinking of the USS Kanaloa. They also delve into the origin of these time loops and how to deal with them. Within these letters, we also get a closer glimpse into the regret and sorrow that Maggie Adler carried before her death. Let's look at this one. I was on watch duty in the tower when it happened, having just gotten back from an early leave for the reading of my father's will. For years, I childishly blamed him for this too. His one last act against me, but it was nobody's fault or decision but my own. I'm sure it was Francis Salter who sent the Kanaloa's distress signal. It had been cut off. I still don't know why, and I hastily interpreted the garbled transmission as an attempt to jam radar. And so I sent back the guidebook recommendation to scout and bomb if necessary. I'll note there is a trophy for gathering every single Adler letter, so you know I had to do it to him. Other than this, and I rarely am of this opinion, but the Adler letters are definitely worth the extra time it takes to gather and read them. They provide so much context to the game, and they answer some of the questions we don't receive direct answers to. All too often do games stick a million collectibles in a game that literally add nothing to it. No world building, no nothing. As we all know, that turns into a grind fest. We're looking at you, Dying Light. but I actually look forward to collecting these. They're pretty good reads. After conversing with Ren and making sure he's good to go, well, good enough at least, we end the conversation by telling him that we're going to Fort Milner to save Clarissa. We also mentioned that Nona's at the communications tower. Ren totally sees this as his opportunity to rizz up Nona, so instead of coming with us to potentially help us like we just helped him, he decides to head on over to the communications tower. I'm not a cockblock, and I consider myself a rather good wingman, but that's kind of cold, man. Alex and Jonas arrive at Fort Milner to rescue the demon, Clarissa. Jonas mentioned something about there possibly being secret projects still being worked on, and that's why this place looks so broken down. Which is kind of funny considering what's about to come up. Clarissa comes over to speakers pleading for help, as she should. I wanted her to grovel for it. Anyway, Alex mentions that Clarissa sounds a bit weird. There's yet another locked door preventing the two from entering the fort, but we have a red light, so not all is lost. But as these things go, and as we progress further into the fuckery that is this night, the ghosts come back harassing us like that one weird guy who wants a hug. Just leave us alone, bruh.
For some reason, it reminds me of the cave.
Dinner time. It's never too late to make dessert. Not anymore.
What the hell is this?
Do you want to play a game?
Alright, I know the answer's no, but we kinda do have to find Clarissa, so let's just ignore the question and thank the weird radio men for the door.
Wait, seriously? Doors that open themselves have been, like, a really bad thing in my experience.
Oh, really? Even automatic doors like in supermarkets?
Stepping through the entrance of Fort Milner feels like stepping into a capsule lost to time. It's abandoned, dark, and overall the vibes are so not good. Alex says it perfectly. Morbid. But there are a few letters here that Maggie Adler left behind that key us in on exactly what was happening here. She states in a letter that recruits learn communications technology here, and several others learn code breaking. It's true. But due to my aptitude in math and mechanical engineering, I was assigned code making, specifically ciphers with which to conceal projects from even other government agencies. It was a job I grew increasingly uncomfortable with, but my keen interest in radio science had me pulling double duty as a communications officer. I remember one of the Kanaloa's engineers, Francis, calling me a radio woman. As far as he knew, it was my only job. So Jonas was pretty much exactly on the money with this hypothesis of there being secretive operations being conducted here. I just want to take a second to note the writing here. I don't know if any of the developers of Oxenfree were in the military, or if they have family in the military, or anything of the sort. Clearly they have immense knowledge of wars, specifically World War II. But this letter in particular from Maggie Adler's felt like I was talking to a battle buddy. All too often we are sold on a dream in the military, only to be forced to do a million other jobs and tasks that we didn't sign up for. Then we're forced to do things that go against our morals, thus leading a lot of service members to hate the military or their military occupational specialties, aka MOS. I, for one, am in that boat 100%. I've been in almost the exact same boat as she was in all those years ago. Midway through my service, I started to abhor my job and the people I worked with, but I couldn't say anything about it due to, court-martial and things of the like. Anyway, that was just a thing I wanted to cover real quick. The letter was subtle, but it resonated with me, and I'm sure it would resonate with many others in the service if they ever read it. Slowly treading through Fort Milner, Jonas proceeds to simp over Clarissa even more, and apparently he hasn't learned his lesson from tonight about blindly following things to their end. He chases Clarissa into a pitch-black room and heroically gets himself locked in there. Of course, Clarissa isn't actually here, and now we are even in a worse situation than where we started. It's almost like this just happened a few hours ago. Isn't that right, Jonas? The lesson here, you may ask? Stop attempting to save people unless you can save yourself first. Most of the time, if you're even successful in saving them, you'll most likely end up not only fucking yourself over, but the people you care about as well. A la Alex and Jonas right now. Midway through the staircase, we get another brief visual of the ghosts that have been giving us grief all night. Before Alex frees Jonas though, she walks past a mirror. Alex is trying to communicate with herself once more. Instead of advice about Michael, this time it's about Jonas. This scene mirrors, pun totally intended by the way, the scene we saw at the lake earlier. As we'll come to learn, these attempts at communication with Alex from the other Alexes will be to no avail. Alex grabs a padlock combination to progress deeper into the fort and quickly notes that when this fort was up and running, the recruits were taught to call passwords cookies. I'm sure we won't need that bit of information 3 minutes from now. But before anything else, Jonas has to relieve himself in the classroom. After his potty break, we see what looks to be Clarissa. She's running over to the next building, so we inevitably follow. Probably to our demise. Alex and Jonas are then locked in another room with a red light, and we get this sequence.
High in the Cascade Mountains of Washington, the Navy opens the world's largest radio transmitter. Its 1 million watts can flash a message around the world in a tenth of a second. Hey kids, wanna play a game?
Hangman?
Be sharp and listen, mister. This is going to tell the classification board a lot about what can be expected of you in the future. How many questions will you be able to get in the allotted time?
Like a test?
This isn't how you play Hangman.
Here's a simple one to start, so don't hold your breath. What is the name of the school you are standing in?
School we're standing in? Isn't this
9.
like a classroom?
U.S. Army Radio Communications School.
That's the stuff, Charlie. Now you're swinging. It all goes into your final rating. You want to get a good rating, don't you? You want to be a good soldier?
Why the hell would we want to be a good soldier?
Why do you care what I want or don't want or anything? I didn't come here for this.
Yeah, we really didn't come here for this.
Why should we care?
They didn't care.
Oh, Jesus. What is going on?
I feel like I'm stuck on a tilt-a-whirl.
Just keep the pointer on the button. Question 2. What did the communications officers at Fort Milner call codes?
Who
10.
would know that?
You'd call codes cookies?
There. Now you're cooking. Coded radio transmitters have an important job, and you wouldn't want them to be unqualified.
No. I mean, like any job, right?
Like anything. Right.
We are an island race, and through all our times, the sea has ruled our breaks.
All right, if I'm answering the questions, you can leave Jonas out of it, okay?
One last round and you've cleared your exam. Pencils ready. How many officers died in the sinking of the USS Kanaloa? 10.
85?
Correct. 97 brave men and women died on the USS Kanaloa. 85 officers, 12 passengers. It all adds up to another fact for the classification board. Just another fact among many.
Here I am. I didn't need to get that far.
Just big mom outside. This kid.
Phoenix Vince, my notes tattoos. Now obsessed.
The United States submarine Kanaloa is shown for the first time in Pacific waters patrolling for the enemy.
Pacific waters patrolling for the enemy. Through the periscope,
The commander looks out over the ocean's surface. Kanaloa was lost today, lost at sea, near.
Why Why are you testing me? Testing us? I don't know what me being good at trivia is gonna...
Everyone must test before
Enlistment.
Enlistment. Rules.
you know.
Okay, about that, I'd really prefer not to, enlist, so... What do you want?
For the first time. For the first time. For the first time.
Time. Just
Time.
What? That was not fun.
Just take it slow and easy. You've just had... an experience.
Yes, very good.
This has been United News.
And thank you for listening.
This is just unbelievable.
Can anyone just...
That's gotta be Clarissa. Let's get her and get out of here. Or use her radio and get out of here, but let's just get out of here.
This was a small, yet most welcome and slightly confusing check on learning from the player. This test was a nice way to keep the player engaged while solidifying things we might have missed in the story. Meaning if we glossed over the Adler letters or any other bits of optional dialogue or rock anomalies, the inclusion of this minigame was a very nice way to keep everyone up to scuff with the vital lore in this game. And the best part is, this didn't come out of nowhere. They set this game up throughout the journey so far, with the ghost asking us to play games with them. Isn't that great? I love it when developers take that extra bit of time to make sure certain scenes of video games actually make sense, and that they aren't just pulled from the ether. This little game also introduces some new mechanics with the inclusion of reversal dialogue options. Alex's answers directly correlated to the buttons, so your answers quite literally had to be mirrored, if that makes sense. I'm horrible at explaining things, I know. Something else I like about this sequence is that this is another, almost final chance for the player to understand that they do need to be paying attention. Information isn't just being thrown at us just because. Like I said earlier, every line of dialogue in this game counts, and this sequence here solidifies that. If you get an answer wrong, the ghosts kind of make you feel like a dumbass, and once you hear the right answer, it immediately clicks in your head, like, oh my god, they did say this, I remember now. From what I'm tracking, nothing much different happens if you somehow get all the answers wrong. Jonas will just comment on how it would have been nice if Alex had decided to get more of the answers right. At this point, Clarissa is basically being worn by the ghost as a jean jacket. Alex, being the radio head reminiscent of Maggie Adler, attempts to fix the radio in the upper room, and then everyone loops. Clarissa unalives herself in dramatic fashion, but she isn't where she was supposed to be when she hit the ground, and we're forced to chase her once more. The two are freaking out about it, obviously. Having no idea what to do now, Alex and Jonas rendezvous back at the tower with Nona and Ren. What happens in the tower has major effects on all the relationships involved.
Oh, I got it. This is great. This is perfect. I know exactly what to do.
Do you?
Yeah, totally. It's Maggie Adler.
Maggie Adler?
Yeah, she has a boat. Had a boat. I mean, the boat's still here, but she's not. She's dead.
Ren, what? You could have mentioned this at any point. I mean, we walked right past
I know. I'm sorry. But I've been like stewing in my own panic here for the last couple hours. My sister Allie worked at the parks office in town. She had to deliver that old woman her mail every day. I know that they have the key.
Okay, so...
No, we are not. We are not going to go with the plan. The first plan put forth by the group's resident burnout.
Hey, come on. I'm not a burnout. Okay, so
Well, and I'm not saying it's the best plan, but what other plan is there really, Jonas?
Oh, I don't know. Fix the radio, find Clarissa, set fire to the mug shop. And these are just off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm still worried about Clarissa.
Wait, set fire to the mug shop?
I'm not saying literally do that. I'm just... There's other things we can do.
But there isn't.
Ren, understand it is completely your fault that we're in this to begin with.
What?
And now you want us to trust you when things are really bad? You had Alex bring the radio. You brought us here.
Jonas, you know we tuned into that thing. We kicked the door open to whatever this is.
Oh, give me a break. This night is like a... It's like a giant, ugly misery stew that Ren's clearly been the chef of.
What does that even mean?
Guys, come on.
It should be obvious to even the cheap seats that you're the only new weirdo who throws this whole social harmony thing we got going on out of whack. I mean, we all grew up with each other. Alex knows she can trust me.
Okay, Ren, just take a step back, all right? Jonas isn't a weirdo. He's a good guy.
What? Your good guy is like deploying a missile barrage of insanity on me right now. The stories I heard about this guy, he's a maniac, okay? He's gonna trash our only legitimate means of getting out of here if you buy into this crap.
Legitimate means? What are you even talking about? You have no idea if there's a boat down there still.
Guys, stop it. Stop. The collective neuroses call a truce, okay?
Yes, please.
Look, I don't care what Caveman Jonas says. There is a boat at Maggie Adler's house. And the key to her house is back on Main Street.
And the backup plan for when this thing fails spectacularly is 2 of us have to stay here by the semi-functioning walkie-talkie.
Fine by me. Alex has the radio. Are you okay to go into town? Not that you wouldn't be okay.
Yeah, it's not like, I'm fine. Whatever, I'm ready.
You shouldn't go alone. We don't need like 3 of us up here.
Yeah, I'll totally go. It's my, brilliant idea or whatever.
Are you kidding? Your food is gonna start kicking in any second. Beyond that, you're a completely unreliable basket case.
I am not a basket case. You,
Just shut up, both of you.
Sorry.
Okay, keeping in mind who you've been able to depend on the whole night.
Yes, keeping in mind who you're tired of.
Keeping in mind who's taller, who do you want coming with you?
Yeah, your oldest pal.
Nona, wanna come with me?
What?
Really? I mean, I guess.
Why are you making me shack up with this guy?
Alright, at this point, everyone is stressed out, reasonably so. And here we are with Alex being put in another moral conundrum. Pick one of these 3 people to head back into town with Alex to grab the gate key. For my first playthrough and for the purposes of this video, I picked Nona. The reason why I picked Nona is simply because she's a character that I wish had more screen time. We haven't learned much about her or even interacted with her much up until this point in the game. The Nona choice seemed like a big no-brainer for me. It should be noted here that if you want the trophy for Ren and Nona dating, you should take Jonas and leave Ren with Nona in the tower. You can attempt to console Ren or Jonas, but they kind of just brush you off in the midst of their teenage hormonal fit. This is another scenario in which nobody truly wins. Choosing Nona will lead us to some dialogue about how Nona actually remembers Alex from school, and Nona apologizes for not saying anything to her earlier in the night when they first met. We learn that Nona is actually quite the troublemaker in school. She mentions that she's always suspended. She's just like me for real. Nona also invited Alex to her birthday party in 3 days and notes that Clarissa won't be there. This invitation has a very different effect on me after having a second playthrough. On the first playthrough, I was like, hell yeah, Alex is making new friends, you know what I mean? It should have been a warm memory, but it felt like attending a wake for someone who hasn't died yet. And knowing the events that transpired left me in eternal dread after the invitation was granted. Nona does take the initiative to pseudo-defend Clarissa a bit by shedding some light on what type of person she used to be. Nona tells a story of her 12th birthday when Clarissa bought her a birthday cake and stayed with her the entire night to watch her favorite movies, noting that she didn't have to do that. This lines up with my thoughts on Clarissa from earlier. She has successfully been ripped to shreds by grief. She simply doesn't know how to move on. She has let anger change her so much that even her closest friends don't recognize her anymore. This is made apparent by Nona reminiscing on Clarissa's past character like it was forever ago. You know people like this, and I know people like this. It's just so strange to see it from a video game. It definitely puts Clarissa and human emotions in a different light for me. The 2 make it back downtown and find the gate key to Mrs. Adler's house. They find Clarissa in full taken mode. We need to use our radio here to try and knock her out of it, as we've done with everyone else previously. But we find that she's too far gone.
Help me. Help me. How will that help me? I was looking forward to seeing you. Yes, I used to dream about something like this.
It's helped the others, Ren and Nona. They've gone through the same...
Gone through what?
They're children, but gone through nothing.
When you're off, the little machine has no more heart than a brain.
No more heart.
Is she okay? Or...
I think so. Oh, Clarissa, are you okay? You scared the crap out of us.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. Are you sure? 'Cause that didn't look great.
Do you remember anything that happened?
I remember waiting in Fort Milner And seeing you?
That was a while ago.
How did I get here?
You don't remember how you got here?
There's been, like, time disturbances or something, and I think that's what's been teleporting people around, so... And we just had one.
Time disturbances.
So you're just blank.
No, I remember something. I remember you with that radio. And I remember feeling like you were the reason all of this was happening.
Wait, it's Clarissa's turn already?
Yeah, it's my turn. What do you mean it's Clarissa's turn already? I haven't even asked one question. Everyone's asking me. I get to do the asking now.
Oh, guys, okay, I know you think we're still playing Truth or Slap or whatever, but this isn't real, so...
Well, wait. Clarissa hasn't gotten a chance to ask something yet, so...
Yeah, and you, of all people, should know what my question is gonna be, because I'm not gonna waste it. Alex, what did you do? Explain why me and my best friend, and your idiot best friend, and your new stepbrother...
Look, when we went into the cave, we found a thing, and I used the radio to somehow tune it in, and I think it jump-started everything.
I see.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry.
Jonas, now you're seeing who you're stuck to until graduation.
Clarissa, seriously, I can vouch for this. This isn't her fault.
It has to be her fault. Of course it's her fault. There's no other way this story goes.
Okay, Clarissa, come on. I said I was sorry. You don't have to pile on.
Pile on?
No, come on, Clarissa. Let's not do this right
You're
now.
gonna learn, Jonas. I swear to God. The town looks at her like she has a red letter tattooed on her freaking forehead, and the giant, lit up Christmas tree reason why is that Michael is dead because of her. Because of her. Like,
it would take a very sick person to see it that way, and I would love to hear the explanation.
Michael was gonna leave town. He was free. He was out of here until this one convinced him to take her swimming for one last God knows what. And he drowned. He drowned in Horn Lake while this one could barely flap her arms.
Clarissa.
You weren't there. No one was there, so how the hell would you know?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows the freak sister who let her brother die while she clung scared to the bowline.
Okay, I'm sorry, but enough. Clarissa, that's enough. It's too much right now. I can't believe... Ugh. Seriously, enough.
Nona, it was awful, all right? It's still awful, and
I don't... Just... Alex, this is none of my business, okay? None. But we came here to do a thing, and that thing is gonna get us home. So let's get home.
No.
Clarissa, what are you...
All the Oxenfree.
Hey, whoa. Man, do you ever get deja vu? Jeez, I just...
So that's been Clarissa's problem this entire time. She blames Alex for Michael's death because she wanted to hang out with her brother one last time before he left for college. What I got from this exchange was that, first of all, Clarissa is a bitch, and she genuinely feels this way. It may seem irrational for her to think in this manner, which we can all agree is true, but this is real life. This is what people do when they're grieving. They latch onto anything they can for a reason as to why something happened, a reason as to why they lost a loved one. Because we often need to rationalize these events in our minds, we often don't realize that there doesn't have to be a reason for anything. We like to think we control things more than we do. The truth is, we don't control anything except for our own actions and reactions to things. And it's nonsensical to waste time blaming others for things outside of our control. The ghosts possessing her are a manifestation of this. This is what happens when these emotions get out of control and we lose our way. We tend to demonize innocent people and push others away from us. For instance, when I was cheated on, I hated all of my ex-partner's friends for a while just by association. That doesn't make sense. It's not rational, but it is a natural process we go through. Well, some of us. The ghosts are taking advantage of the most emotionally volatile person in the group because she's slowly losing her humanity. Pain and anger can be the worst tools when your enemy is using them against you, but they can also be the best tools when handled correctly. What we have in Clarissa is a person who can't let anything go. Her emotions from Michael's death have literally been eating her alive for the longest, and she's no longer in control. She's choking on the endless cycle that is wishing she could have changed what happened. In my opinion, that's what the ghosts in this game symbolize, losing yourself to emotions. After breaking, entering, and thievery, Nona and Alex find a key to the gate, which is actually another radio. This cool gadget with a wider range of frequencies is called a wall radio, also known as wave-assisted radios. similar to walkie-talkie-esque communications radios back in the days of World War II that completely revolutionized the battlefield operations back in the day. These radios were left by Maggie Adler herself, and if we tune into certain frequencies, we can unlock numerous doors around the island.
Whom it should concern, this island and its history is a lie. Jeez, she didn't have fond memories of this place, did she?
What? What could that mean?
I have been compelled by both forces outside of my control and my own willful concern for the safety of others to conceal the many truths about Edwards Island. But now I feel any further inaction may carry a far greater risk.
Forces outside our control. Like ghosts or the army, or what was she talking about?
Let me finish then. Inside, you'll find 2 wall-equipped radios. I have commandeered the old Cardinal Station 140.1 and used it to relay clues to the nearby beacons buried throughout the area. Find these beacons and the notes within, and discover the true chronicle of the island.
Oh, scavenger hunt! Scavenger hunt, scavenger hunt!
Wait. To whosoever finds the material, know that I'm discomfited in keeping it hidden and ashamed for the lies I helped preserve. But also know that I acted in what I felt were the best interests for all at the time. And truly for the interest of time itself. Margaret Adler.
Yeah, so what a fucking bombshell. All of the lies about the sinking of the USS Kanaloa are cleared up in the letters around the island. To add on to this letter, or to piggyback, as military personnel love to say, I'd like to present another one here to add a little more context. The USS Walter Roy, a destroyer escort, sunk the USS Kanaloa with friendly fire on October 25th, 1943. Relatively few even knew of its existence, which tripled the base's confusion when the submarine's communications had been out. No one outside of a handful of us would ever know the truth. I would discover later that a weapons technician of the Walter Roy had been at Francis Salter's wedding. Salter was an engineer on the Kanaloa. I don't know why, but it's strange to me. Wow, okay. So we're slowly but surely getting more answers here. Maggie Adler writes that she acted in what she felt were in the best interests of all at the time. I wonder what that could mean. But before we can even piece this together fully, Alex gets hit with something staggering. 1 p.m. a year prior, we see exactly how the relationship between Michael, Clarissa, and Alex used to be. Here we finally see Michael, which is important, but we can also see exactly what Clarissa was like around him, before his untimely death, of course. Clarissa is happy, not snappy, and overall she seems to be enjoying life. In the final moments of the memory sequence, Alex and Clarissa get some brief alone time. Clarissa opens up to Alex here, mentioning how she's happy that Alex isn't jealous about her, essentially stealing all of her time with her brother. Clarissa wants, or rather she wanted the three to continue doing things like this in the future. She wanted them to continue bonding together. One thing that really pulled on my heartstrings was how Clarissa made sure to mention how Michael always talks about Alex and how much he loves her. These flashbacks with Michael, without a doubt, are the best part of the entire game. Everything hits, and the soundtrack elevates the scenes to an entirely different level. I spoke over it a bit, but I'll let it play out so you can really get the full range of what's going on here.
Did we? I thought we said we'd bring drinks.
Wait, Michael?
Yeah? What is it? Did I almost step on a crab or something?
Where's Jonas?
Jonas? Who's Jonas?
Is someone else coming?
Yeah, is that a friend of yours?
Never mind, I guess.
Okay, Clarissa, take a note. Remind me to check the yearbook for a Jonas, so I can make fun of Alex's secret boyfriend.
Noted.
What? Why am I here?
What, you don't want to hang out at the beach? There's stuff in town, but it's all boring knick-knack shops or whatever.
No, come on, Alex, relax.
No, I mean in this time period.
Oh, geez, you're hitting the existential nostalgia trip already?
I get it, Alex. I would have been happier in the 70s.
The 70s? It's like the worst time.
Today turned out to be a flawless day. It really did.
Yeah, no, it did. It really did. I wanted to bring a kite, but thought you'd laugh at me.
Yeah, it really is kinda ideal, actually.
Yeah, I'm like right about to start sweating, but I'm not.
No, it is, right? I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while. How have you been? What's been going on? How's classes?
Truthfully,
Sorry. I think, yeah, I accidentally left my phone on the ferry, because I do things like that.
Oh God, you idiot. Go get it before it leaves.
When I get back, I want to hear an Alex story.
Okay, I guess.
So,
Do you... Well, I guess you don't remember anything, right?
what am I meant to remember? I'm sorry, did I forget something? I'm bad with dates.
Forget it. It's alright.
I'm glad we could all do stuff today. I'm glad you were cool with it, I mean. I know you guys are really close, and like, I know it can be annoying when somebody starts keeping all their time for their girlfriend or whatever. So, I think it would be cool if we could, like, continue to do things together.
Clarissa, no, this is different. He's my brother. I've known him since I was born. He's not just a friend I'm losing.
Yeah, I get that, and I'm sorry if you feel like you're losing him, because you're not. Michael, he loves you, like, a lot. I'm sure you know that, but he talks about you all the time. Oh, Alex did this, and Alex let the frogs out in science class. Isn't she hilarious?
Yeah, well, I love him too.
Had to fight the skipper for it, but he didn't reckon how many squats I could do.
What's it up to, 6?
Only on burrito days. On non-burrito days, it's like 8.
Actually, Clarissa and I had a nice chat while you were away. Kinda sorry to see you back so soon, to be honest.
Oh, really? I'm sure Alex sold you on how I lock her in the basement and treat her like a shaved monkey.
The version I heard was you trap her in the greenhouse.
Yeah, well, it changes month to month.
No, it was perfectly fine. Perfectly amicable.
Amiable.
It means the same thing.
All right. Sorry.
So, I actually really want a cold something, so I'm gonna run into town and get like a soda. Anybody want anything?
Yeah. Get me a drink too?
Sure. I'll be back.
Okay, I'm here. What's the story? I want the news. I want the Alex first edition. What's going on?
I've missed you, man. I've just missed you a lot, that's all.
Hey, come on. I've missed you too. And I know I've been hanging out with Princess, but it's a two-way thing. You can knock on my door. We live in the same house. We gotta bring back movie night and board game night. All the nights.
No, Michael, I can't. You're not there.
Well, sometimes I'm there. And look, I know this was supposed to be our day, but I completely forgot I promised Clarissa I'd do something with her, so thanks for chaperoning. I know it's not what you had in mind, but I owe you.
What do you see in her, really?
Okay. Tuesday night, she dragged me to a comedy club for open mic, shoved me on stage, and then proceeded to curse out the entire bar when they didn't laugh at my horrible jokes. And that was a Tuesday, so that's what I see in her.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just don't get it.
It's important to me that you like Clarissa, Alex, so tell me the truth. What do you really think of her?
Stick with it. Stay with her. If she makes you happy, if she makes you laugh, who am I to say anything otherwise?
Thank you. Good blessings, good tidings. You know, I never noticed. That's a good-looking jacket. I should ask for it back. I don't like my new one. Feels like I got shoes on my arms or something.
You know what, Bucko? I need it more than you.
Bucko? You haven't called me that in years.
So why? Why this flashback? What was I made to see here? What was I supposed to feel or notice? What this flashback does so eloquently is showcase the parts of Alex that miss her brother. During the game, she doesn't talk about him that much unless he's brought up or unless Clarissa says something about the situation. We get a glimpse into Alex's memories of her brother and what she misses about him the most. We look at a prominent memory in her mind, one we can assume she frequently visits from time to time. For a second, we even see her wanting to run back to the ferry in an effort to spend time with her brother. In my opinion, this flashback is where Alex is starting to gain some maturity and come into who she actually wants to be. This memory of her, Michael, and Clarissa has Michael in it, sure, but I think she's trying to understand and remember her relationship with Clarissa before his death. She's trying to remember who Clarissa used to be. She's slowly understanding the internal issues that Clarissa is having. Alex doesn't want to be at odds with Clarissa, and it's taken every fiber of her being to be strong enough not to resent Clarissa. even after all the grief Clarissa has put Alex through. This is what it means to come to grips with the situation. All we can do is remember the good moments and enjoy the fact that they happened. There's no need for resentment. This flashback highlights Alex's growing maturity levels in real time. She's beginning to understand the reality of her situation, and she's accepting it. She accepts the fact that Michael is gone, Clarissa hates her, and she doesn't linger in that. It's currently 03:20 a.m., present day. Alex gains consciousness with Nona telling her that she was floating, spinning, and mumbling in her sleep. The two make it to the gate, and what do you know? Jonas and Ren are already here. The plan has slightly changed here a bit. The group has decided to gain positive control of a boat first, and then go look for Clarissa. Past the gate is Maggie Adler's illustrious suite. I mean, look at it, dog. This woman was living quite large. If you're in the military and wondering how she got all this money, a letter she left behind sort of explains this. After the fort closed, I used the considerable resources from my father's endowment to buy up most of the land or influence government officials to declare that which I could not buy protected. I have not been entirely successful and have watched in horror as a small tourist industry has precariously sprung up on this cursed island. Even the family of one of the sailors who died, Calvin Gilbert, set up a restaurant to cater to this inquisitive out-of-towners. I can promise this though, the museums will never happen and the beach and caves will be boarded up. So her dad was rich as hell pretty much. Also, Maggie Adler wasn't exactly a fan of the tourist attractions being set up on the island. The tourist attractions probably upset her more because she couldn't even tell people why they shouldn't be setting up shop here. After using the wall radio to crack the code on the door to Maggie Adler's home, we see Clarissa. Or at least what remains of her. Alex can peruse some of Maggie Adler's home, taking into account the things she liked. Maggie Adler was a serious reader of books. There's a padlocked chest upstairs that we need to gain access to for the key to the boat outside. It's a physical lock, so our wall radio won't work here. On the way to the basement, Alex can take a second here to be a wingman for Ren once again. I'm pretty sure that conversation needs to be had for them to get together, but I have no idea. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I've tried everything, still no trophy. However, in the basement, we find Maggie Adler's family ledger, the combination code for the padlock chest upstairs, and some slides for the projector. Upon finding the key and attempting to leave, Clarissa has a few things to say to Alex.
So...
Alex! Oh, Alex! Come down here, please.
We have something we want to show you.
Clarissa? Where are you?
In the family room, dear.
Come on, Ren. Are you asleep? Nona, can you hear me? Come on, Jonas. I really need you. Don't blank out on me now.
Ah, there you are. Now we imagine you're a bit confused. But don't fret. This will be the final part of your training, Alex.
All training is supervised by very skilled instructors.
Training? I don't want to be trained. What are
You signed up for this, Alexandra.
Is possible.
So please, I cannot bear your excuses, offspring. You walked in here with clear eyes.
I said maybe leave was possible. Maybe. I didn't even know what the hell you were talking about.
It's okay. Everything will be fine. The test is easy.
We will speak of something we see in the house.
And you will go and find it.
We play another fun little mini game. Answering incorrectly here will just make your friends disappear. I don't think answering incorrectly will negatively affect Alex's relationship with her friends at all. However, they will mention how bad it hurt, saying that it felt like their skin was being torn off, so they can just endure some mild torture if they have to. The map flips upside down again, reminiscent of the game we played back in Fort Milner. We learned that Maggie Adler had a partner in crime named Anna, the same person she mentioned in that letter from earlier. We never got to know what happened to her, but no worries, I got y'all, gang. There are a couple of letters describing exactly how Anna came into Maggie's life, their experiments, and what happened to her. Maggie writes, "When people in the communications department began transferring off, I was able to convince my higher-ups including confidentiality, one eventual Army passenger on board the Kanaloa, Henry Griffin, to bring Anna aboard as a replacement. Anna had been working in broadcasting, so it made enough sense to the upper ranks. Incidentally, when I dream, it is usually during this time period, amidst the change, and I am trying to prevent Anna from ever coming. In this letter, we get a deeper look into some of Maggie Adler's guilt. Whatever happened to Anna, Maggie feels horrible and blames herself for it. Essentially, what just happened was we learned that the ghosts are trying to use these radio waves to swap themselves out with anyone who happens to open a temporal tear. It just so happens these were the idiot kids who decided to do it. We get confirmation that these ghosts are in a permanent state of pseudo-consciousness, as they've seen the conception and demise of the world infinite times. At the bottom of the stairs, Alex runs into another mirror, and we know what that means at this point in the game. This hindsight advice doesn't mean anything, as we'll see shortly. Clarissa is gone yet again, and the group decides to come up with an idea to stop this once and for all. Since the cave we entered at the beginning of the game is caved in by this point in the game, Ren gives us the idea to open the pre-war cave systems that were built long ago. Many of these doomsday shelters were built with an all-out nuclear war in mind during World War II. Most of these shelters were placed in or around pre-existing structures like basements and subway stations. In Maggie Adler's basement, we find out this information, and with Nona's help, we figure out how to use it. The door that we need to open can only be opened through a confirmed communication system. This means that a signal has to be sent from one point and confirmed at another point simultaneously. Also, Anna definitely got locked into the other side of the temporal tear during an experiment, which is explained more in depth in this tragic letter. After stealing equipment from this relay station, Anna and I entered the cave just before dawn to try and communicate directly with the crew of the USS Kanaloa. We successfully tuned in to the source of the temporal tear and spoke, albeit briefly, to Henry Griffin, an SOC sergeant who died on the sub, but the power overwhelmed my dear Anna, and she was absorbed into its ridge. All that remains there now is the flickering hue of a partially open gate, a window to a perpendicular space that seeks to have augmented the submarine's call. But of all my regrets, perhaps the deepest is knowing Anna's last vision of me was fleeing from her in terror. Man, that was rough. But now we have a clearer picture of exactly why Maggie feels so guilty. She watched her lover fucking evaporate from existence as a result of her experiments. This is something I don't think Maggie ever truly got over, and to be honest, how could she? And if you're wondering how the experiments even got to that point, this is also explained. My belief, bolstered by Anna's and my research, conducted largely at the Catbird station where interruptions were rare, is that the men and women of the USS Kanaloa were separated from our dimensional existence by the implosion of the submarine's nuclear reactor. I identified one passenger, Henry, by his call sign, and his confused direction and reliance on game logic says to me that their emotional states, if not mental states, had been reduced to that of children, a thought I cling to when I envision Anna's demise. On the way to the station, Alex gets a vision of Ren drowning, where the USS Kanaloa was destroyed. The ghost seemed to be slowly but surely creeping into Alex's brain as well, bringing to the surface her emotions about Michael's death. It's officially 0400 4 a.m. in the morning. Strolling back through the woods, we can see more instances of furniture being pulled back into the current timeline, signifying that reality is crumbling, but at an exponential rate. Time is running out. Or is it? We're locked into another loop, and at this point, Alex is fucking tired of this shit, okay? She's not even phased anymore. Ren dies a couple times, but not really. Playing on the fact that Alex has literally watched her brother drown helplessly, and there was nothing she could do about it. Her feelings are slowly being manifested in these visions as the night goes on. She's being forced to confront the things she thought she had previously moved past. In the shack, Jonas is completely taken over. You can choose to sacrifice Clarissa here, seeing as how she's almost completely irredeemable at this point in the game. She isn't even herself anymore. However, if you choose not to sacrifice her, this choice will have dire consequences. The result of your choice here has been so eloquently foreshadowed throughout the entirety of the game, and we'll see exactly what when we get there. You know the drill. We'll temporarily fix this little loop using the conveniently placed magnetophones. From here, Alex sends the call to the bunker so Nona and Ren can accept it, thus opening the bomb shelter. Shelter TF-1 has officially been opened. This is where Oxenfree really starts to tie all of his themes together, and all of the foreshadowing starts to pay off. Jonas gets possessed while the pair are on their way back to the bunker and attempts to scare Alex. Or maybe it was just a leaked conversation. Time is quickly running out for the group, and this fact is emphasized by the number of possessions that are happening back to back. People are being possessed constantly and for longer and longer periods of time. The ghosts quite literally can't contain themselves for much longer. Not that they're trying to, but they're leaking into reality at an exponential rate. Time is ticking. Speaking to Jonas at this point in the game is like speaking to a terminally ill person. He's sure he's going to die, so he's spilling his guts to Alex just in case he doesn't get the chance to later. 0500 rolls around, and Alex is hit with another gut-wrenching flashback. These scenes really jerk on the emotional strings, man. This one is focused more directly on Michael and Alex. In this flashback, she has fully accepted the reality of what has happened. She's enjoying the moment with her brother. She isn't focused at all on trying to explain to him what's going on, and she has the opportunity to tell him that if he leaves, she'll miss him. Michael talks a lot here about wanting to leave Kamina. I think that's Alex's way of understanding that either way the cookie crumbled, their relationship wouldn't have been the same. Michael still would have been gone in a way. We can also see how torn Michael was between leaving his sister behind and going on to do new and greater things with his life.
Who's Ash? Oh, you mean Amanda? My really good friend Amanda who's moving away forever? That Amanda?
Yeah, that Amanda, who stole her mom's car. And I don't care if you didn't know she didn't have permission to take it, cause whatever, fine. But you knew you didn't have permission to go to that show. Just tell me it's the last time I hear about you stealing a car. However inadvertently, my little heart can't handle the excitement.
It'll be the last time, but maybe not for the reasons you think.
I don't really care about the reasons, just for my own sanity, don't do it anymore. Oh, and I wanted to say, per your advice, I think I'm gonna really, commit to Clarissa. That sounds dumb, like I'm pinning her or something, but you know what I mean.
Wow, big man on campus. I don't know why I said that. Big step, that's what I mean. Big step.
It's not a big deal. I'm just letting you know, so I don't know why. I just wanted to tell you. Come on, let's get to the Sentry before the last boat comes. I gotta get the visual aid for the history project. Then I just gotta write the stupid essay.
What history project? They still make you do, work with so little left in the year?
Unfortunately. It's just like a town history thing for civics, you know? So it's forced me to I don't know. And I mean, it's funny, I don't know if I even want to be here next year. It's just all so flat. Same people, the same expressions.
Well, if you leave, I'd certainly miss you.
Yeah, no, I'd miss you too. It's just that everybody here knows me, you know? I know you think I have it on easy street, but people looking at you all the time, wanting evidence that it's good that they lived here, that good things can happen to people that are from here, it can get to be a real drag. Like, how about somebody else be captain of whatever for once? Give me a rest.
You are great, though, and you're gonna be great whatever you do. I'm sure of it.
You got spunk, kid.
Yeah, well.
Let's head back before Karen Strands is here. You know, when we saw Uncle Pete last month, I wanted to ask him because he got out moving to New York. And I asked him if it was hard leaving. Know what he said?
It was easy. I mean, knowing Uncle Peter, he was probably 3 sheets to the wind.
He said the hardest part was deciding what to take with him and what to leave behind. I thought it was, I don't know, for him, kind of almost touching.
Huh, that's not bad.
I cannot believe I had to pick you up from the police station because of Grand Theft Auto. I mean, that is too funny.
Oh, shut up.
30 minutes pass when Alex and Jonas arrive back at the shelter. The group shares some somber talk about the events of the night and decides to take one last photo. Everyone knows something life-altering is about to happen, but nobody knows exactly what. The group is somewhat sad, and Ren tries to sober up the mood with his corny jokes. Before Alex enters the shelter, she can hug her friends one last time. Around 6 a.m., Jonas gives Alex a rundown on how she should continue on if all else fails. If you recall earlier on in the game, Alex told herself something about Jonas. Obviously, whatever dialogue option you might have chosen will be what she said, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to go with Alex telling herself not to let Jonas talk to his mom. And up until this point, we really haven't heard much about his mother either, other than some optional dialogue here and there. But depending on the ending you want, you can choose whether or not to let Jonas interact with this TV right here. Seemingly his mother is inside, or that's what we can assume. On my first playthrough, I decided to let him do so because I had no idea the repercussions that lay in wait. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Giving in to Jonas's wishes and fixing the signal on the TV will grant him a moment of reprieve. Then he disappears from reality entirely.
It sounds like it's her, like a recording, or it's my mom. That's her voice in the static. You can hear that, right? I mean, I know you don't know what she sounded like, but you can hear that, the voice, right?
I can kinda hear it.
Is it possible? Do you think it's possible? I mean, we've been like talking with ghosts the entire night. Do you think it's like it could be, right? It's just with everything that's happened, she could have come here.
It's possible. I mean, a lot's happened tonight in this general realm of craziness, so I'm not gonna rule it out.
God, she's like so close. Can you just try and tune in the signal? This tape player thing isn't even, no clue what's going on, but if you could just...
Sure, I can try, I guess.
Yeah, 'cause this, I don't know how to get this clearer or whatever. I just can't really get this to change or... Mom? Whoa, Alex?
Oh no.
Just like that, he's gone. The ghosts win. Admittedly though, hearing the pain and hope in his voice when he's begging Alex to fix the television almost forces you down this path anyway. On the reverse side, you can choose to not let him speak to his mom, and this option hurts almost equally as badly. He sits and begs and begs and begs Alex to fix the TV so he can talk to his mom. The pain in his voice almost makes you break. Even though you know the outcome of this, I guess this is just a decision, that's up to you and your values. Which decision hurts the least to make? I'll share my answer in a bit.
Really? I mean, it's not like we've been here before, so...
Jonas, this is I know we've tried this before, but I think we might be able to change things, like really change things if we're lucky with the timing.
What do you mean? What timing?
We can send messages through these things to... It'll, let us communicate with another version of us. I saw it happen, the effects, when I got sent back.
Okay. Neat. But what good would that do us, really? It's not like the version of me that can fly is gonna bust through here and save us, so...
There's still some good in trying, I think. I don't know.
Okay, I won't stop you. Say whatever you think will help, I guess.
Alex, this is... Alex. Just don't use your radio for the rest of the night, okay? Just don't use your radio.
Tim. You call him Tim. Yeah, it's not one of my finest.
Well, I hope that worked.
Wait. Okay, you know what? There's like the 10th time we've heard this song all night. There is something going on with... Like, why would this specific tune be all over the place?
I know this is, sensitive for you, Jonas, but we really don't have time to waste here, I don't think.
Set a stopwatch. I won't take more than 5 minutes. It's, like, breaking or something. Can you fix it? I mean, it's just so crazy to keep hearing this, right? It was like a tick she had. I don't know, but try and get it playing right if you can. It sounds like it's her, like a recording, or it's my mom. That's her voice in the static. You can hear that, right? I mean, I know you don't know what she sounded like, but you can hear that. The voice, right?
Jonas, I think we should go. Really.
Wait. Is it possible? Do you think it's possible? I mean, we've been, like, talking with ghosts the entire night. Do you think it's, like, it could be, right?
Jonas, I'm sorry, but I really don't think that's her. Like, really her.
Well, how would you know? And I mean, you don't know that for sure. I'm not saying I know that for sure, but from the stuff we've seen tonight, this has to be possible, right? God, she's, like, so close. Can you just try and tune in the signal? This tape player thing isn't even... No clue what's going on, but...
Jonas, I know this is tough to understand, but we really should be using the radio to get out of here, and, like, that's it. We have to leave.
We don't have to leave. You just want to leave. Come on, I'm sorry, but please, can you try and understand what's happening here? Just, please help me out. I just can't really get this to change, or... Mom, can you...
Come on, Jonas, let's just get in the cave and remember why we're here, okay?
Can't you just help me out with this, please?
No, now. Really, we have to finish this before it's too late, okay?
Okay.
After your decision, Alex either goes into the cave by herself or with Jonas. Tuning into the temporal tear once again, we come to the apex of the entire night. Alex is transported into nothingness briefly, where she witnesses the destruction of the USS Kanaloa, along with all of the crew aboard it. We are hit with the hardest decision in the game. Do we sacrifice Clarissa and save everyone else, including Alex? Or are we to sacrifice Alex, a character we've grown so close to, and is essentially us? Whoever is chosen to, quote-unquote, save the day, will have to go on the other side of the temporal tear and seal it, vanishing from this reality and essentially dying, but not really, just living forever in an endless loop, probably a worse fate than death. Alex begs here and tries to reason with the ghost, but reality begins to sink in as she realizes there's nothing she can do. She has been fighting an unwinnable battle. In my first playthrough, I thought I almost had them. I was attempting to tap into the remaining humanity they had. I made them remember their names, they felt something, and they mentioned how Alex reminds them of Maggie Adler. A sentiment with which I agree strongly, by the way. Alas, they don't stray from their course. A choice must be made, a choice which will directly reflect your personal views. In this ending, I attempted to use bargaining, like I said, and as a byproduct of that, it caused Alex to not make a decision in time, and in that indecision/inability to take action over the course of her own fate, a choice was made for her. No matter how much pleading we did, no matter how hard we tried to make the ghost see it from our perspective, none of that mattered. A decision was still made. Someone still lost, only this time we refused to choose the lesser of two evils, so we received all of the evil instead. Alex is then transported to the past, I guess. Now she has the opportunity to give herself advice about Jonas, mentioning to him not to let him speak to his mom, if you take into account the events that just transpired. We're hit with one final flashback of Alex and Michael, and it's fucking heartbreaking.
Oh, hey, I didn't even know you were home. You're always so quiet. It's like living with a little fairy tale mouse.
Wait, did I get booted back in time?
I know, I haven't used this desk in like a year, but Dad has all his gear on the kitchen table, so I've been like struggling with the stupid speech, the graduation thing. I don't want it to be just the usual blah blah we've come so far type stuff. It should have like a point, right? It should bring you to your feet about something.
Sure, yeah. Give it a theme.
I'm guessing Mom probably told you about my scholarship to state, right? I don't really know how I feel about it. I mean, I feel it's not like it's a bad thing. It's a good thing, obviously.
Well, what are you thinking? Engineering? Well, you said something about sports medicine one time.
Yeah, I don't know about that anymore. It's just, it seems like half the teachers are alumni, and actually, I'm about to be really arrogant and presumptuous and say mean things for no real reason other than I think I know better, so forget it. I've bored you enough. I'm boring me right now.
I'm listening. Come on, I'm not gonna judge.
No, really, I'm talking out of my ass. It's fine. Listen, here's the... You can't tell Mom or Dad, but Clarissa and I are talking about just leaving. Getting an apartment somewhere and just doing our own thing,
Oh, Michael, seriously? You'd leave me here all alone with these boring, bland people who don't come up with stuff like grocery cart chariot race?
You came up with that one, so you're not really losing out. I'd still visit all the time, so, She's been really pushing for it, wanting to look for places, and I'm into the idea. I really am. I wouldn't feel right about it if I didn't have your, blessing first. So, can you just wave your hand over my head or something and say I'm all right to do this?
Michael, you have a lot that you can do and a lot ahead of you, and I don't think tying yourself to your high school girlfriend in such a risky way is the smart play here.
It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be the safe play. That's the whole thing of it. But I know what you're saying. Alex, just get good friends, okay? And when you're with those friends, just say yes to everything. And keep away from boys when you talk to them. It feels like you're performing. But also, stay away from girls who look you in the eye for too long. And match every beer with a water. And take classes outside of school. Classes you don't need.
Michael, what's this for? What are you doing?
This is a just-in-case package, okay? Just in case I'm not around. And I love you, and you're amazing, and that's it. So...
I love you too.
But soon, I shall be so I cannot remember any, but the things that never happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, look who's finally awake.
Maybe don't get up immediately.
Michael, what's happening?
Well, it's a combination of things, I guess.
Michael carried you here from the cave.
'Cause you were, comatose.
She doesn't. It's okay. You don't care. What's happening is that the tuning thing we did in the cave, it worked. The ghosts are gone. We're going home.
Or at least they've stopped trying to eat our souls.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Great, hooray. But how exactly is Michael here right now?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I've been here all night. Are you feeling okay? I mean, we all feel pretty bad, but...
I cannot believe what I'm hearing. Michael drowned very tragically last year. I mean, Clarissa, come on, of all people. Verify here.
Verify what? I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you saw lots of bad stuff.
Yeah, don't you remember? It's been you and me all night. We did the call to open the bomb shelter. You don't remember this?
Did I, accidentally change the past here?
I don't know. Did you?
I don't really feel like anything's changed. Do you feel like anything's changed?
Well, if I did, it was worth seeing you again. Jesus, I mean, this is insane.
Well, anyways, before I forget, my heartfelt apologies to Jonas. Buddy, this was not what I meant when I said this would be a good time. Sorry about that. I mean, I invited the poor guy. He just moved here with his dad, and...
Yeah, we know. He picked you up in gym class so you could dunk the ball.
Stop telling...
Guys, no, Jonas. I brought Jonas. He's my new stepbrother. His dad is marrying... He's marrying our mom.
Oh,
what?
boy.
What are
Alex,
you talking about?
Maybe you should lie down again.
Yeah, this isn't good.
Alex, I brought Jonas...
Just forget it. It doesn't matter now.
It's okay. Come on. It's all right. We'll all get back into the swing of things. Start feeling our freshest again soon enough, I'm sure.
Yeah, you'll ripen in no time.
I can't believe everything that happened. I feel like we should tell everyone we know. Go on a freaking book tour, but...
What? No, are you kidding? We don't have evidence of ghosts, but we know there's a continuation, a sort of life after death. This is like the moon landing times a billion.
Except no one will believe it.
Is this... Rin, didn't you lose a book?
Holy crap! This is it! Thank you! I lost it on the way. I thought for sure some commuter would have just tossed it overboard.
Hey, that reminds me. What were we... We were talking about something stupid right before Alex woke up.
Prom?
Prom.
Yeah, Clarissa, what color's your dress gonna be so I know what corsage to get?
Purple, probably. Royal purple.
Are you going, Alex?
Wait, are people who already graduated allowed to take...
I guess. I mean, if I find a date, you know. I'm not gonna go stag. I have my dignity.
Ben Owens will ask you. Or rather, he's going to ask you unless I physically prevent him.
You can do better.
Oh, Alex, you want to go dress shopping with me and Nona? It'll be fun. It'll be like a movie montage, except none of us are prostitutes and there's no rich guy.
Sounds great. Yeah, I mean, I guess I should spiffy up once in my life.
Spiffy up, my lord. The way this girl talks, and she gets it from you.
I know she gets it from me, and I like it. The rest of you are the wrong ones.
All right, you know what? It's picture time.
Oh my god, come on.
Oh, come on,
No.
what? We earned this one.
Yeah, I guess we should. Tonight's been, noteworthy.
Noteworthy. That is a way to say it.
Yeah, I'd probably say it another way.
Let's actually move outside so we can get the light.
Sure.
Ren, what is that book, anyway?
I don't know. I can hardly make heads or tails out of what the hell he's talking about half the time.
Here's good for the... yeah, just here.
Like, look. I'll just pick a random-ass page.
Come on, Alex.
Like this, here. When I was younger, I could remember anything, whether it happened or not. But soon, I shall be so I cannot remember any, but the things that never happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, everyone.
All right, shut up and...
Cheese!
Before we'd left, I told my mom I was spending the night at a friend's house. And when I got back, I didn't see any reason to change that story. And you know what? I still don't. Ren always loved the town, but the island pretty much erased that in one fell swoop. He ended up going to college in California. He was my best friend, but I don't know if I'll ever see him again. Nona, I think, is going to some ballet academy somewhere, but I don't talk to her. She never really got over me almost trading her best friend away. I can't really blame her. Clarissa fled to the East Coast, dropped out of college, and works at a boutique. But any snippets of her life I hear from Michael. They're still dating, kind of. Really, only when she visits. She'll never come back, though. I know that for sure. Not after that night. Since Michael never left, we never had our going away thing at the lake, and so he never drowned. He stayed in town to get an engineering degree. He's content, but I think he's secretly planning to move to New York for Clarissa. I guess we'll see. Jonas never remembered my version of things, though I held out hope for a while that he would. We still hang out all the time, though. He goes to school in town. I call him my other brother. Not to his face. Don't tell Mike. It's funny. What happened on the island used to pop into my head every single day, and then every other day. And then a week went by, and I realized I hadn't thought about it at all. I guess that's... I don't know. It's good, I think. But anyways, well, if it matters. I'm taking some time off. Just to, I don't know, readjust my priorities, figure out what I want to do. But anyways, what time is it? Yeah, sorry, I gotta run or I'll miss the ferry. Ren's dragging me out to Edwards Island for that yearly beach party thing, and I have to pick up what's-his-name Jonas, too. I hope he's not weird or mean or something. Whatever, I'm sure it'll be fun. It's something to do, right?
Okay, and we're meeting who again?
My sister, Allison.
It's just that I just thought you said the last ferry leaves in like half an hour.
It does, but look, Allie owes me big for the lawnmower thing that I promised to keep in the Forever Secrets land, and she knows how important tonight is. So she will definitely come here, and she will definitely buy us whatever we want with her very believable fake ID.
Oh, I'm not worried.
Neither of you has a fake ID? I mean, Ren, doesn't the Treasury office even let you use their laminating machine?
They do. But it's a privilege I've been sworn not to abuse, Alex. Which, coincidentally, I've already done by making a bunch of car insurance mascot trading cards with it.
I heard something about an island.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it! I want to give you like the grand summation once we're underway. If Allie would ever get here. Okay, okay. Alex, bring out the radio, tune to a random station, and if somebody's talking, we'll give her another 5 minutes. But if it's music, we'll break off now. We'll let the stupid universe decide if stupid Allie is gonna get here or not. So, like, any station will do. For the purposes of this thing, just tune to anything. Really. Well, all right. I guess that means...
Alex, this is... Alex. Just don't use your radio for the rest of the night, okay? Just don't use your radio.
Wow. That is some hardcore craziness. Alex, I don't even know how you convinced Carly to let you record some spooky-ass message for tonight, but good friggin' job. That was amazing. Seriously, Jonas, do you know who you have as a new sister? I have goosebumps! Feel my arm.
What does this mean?
What do you mean, what does it mean? Wait, you're honestly telling me that you don't have anything to... Oh my god, I don't even know why I'm playing into this.
Why does it matter if you use your radio?
It's because of tonight. It was the whole thing of it. Look, Alex, you didn't have to go through all this trouble if you just wanted to sit in my den and watch that Swedish cartoon about the donkey carpenter for the 800th time instead. You know, you could have just said, Ren, let's not spend the night on a forbidden beach filled with wonder and mystery.
Ren, I really didn't do this. Really. I'm as confused as you are.
No, it's fine. Honestly, we're probably too late to catch the last boat anyway. And, well, to be honest, I don't even think anybody else was gonna go, so... You know, we probably spared ourselves a lame night, truthfully. Thanks for nothing, Allie. You older sister witch. Jonas, there's a pizza place across the street from my house that's like the best. New York, Chicago, they can all go and play with their butts for all I care because nobody can touch Alfredo's, swear to God.
All right, cool, sounds good.
And you guys just met tonight, right?
Yeah, I'd been out of school and, you know, the timing just hadn't worked out.
And what are you to him, Alex?
7 a.m. has arrived and the night is now coming to an end. Everyone is okay, guys. We won. And somehow Clarissa is still with us, and as a bonus, she isn't being a bitch to Alex anymore. Then my feelings were absolutely crushed, decimated even. The clean loop was actually done so well that it broke my heart into tiny, minuscule pieces. In my first playthrough, I tried to keep everyone happy. I assumed that if I played Peacemaker, everything would turn out right. And in doing so, I pretty much got the worst ending there could possibly be, as you saw. So, my concluding thoughts. This video has been quite long, and I guess some of you might be wondering exactly what I think about the story that Oxenfree tells. Overall, Oxenfree struck me as a game about how emotions, specifically grief, can possess us and completely transform us or the people we know. The ghosts we encountered through the night are our personal experiences that haunt us every day until we figure out how to handle them. I've been Clarissa before, although I hate to admit it. Something very traumatizing happened to me recently, and I was Clarissa. I didn't know how to handle what I was going through, and that made me turn into someone my friends and I didn't even recognize at times. The weight of what I refused to let go turned me bitter, because I was so focused on something I couldn't change. I was so focused on things outside of my control, much like Clarissa, and that's no way to live. That shit will eat you alive. I also think that Oxenfree does an amazing job at honing in on the fact that relishing in the past and wishing we could change it is practically useless. The past is the past for a reason, but I'll use some of the alternate endings for this game as an example. In an alternate ending, Alex saves everyone, including herself. If you read all the Adler letters and make the ghosts remember their names, I don't consider this a canon ending, as it defeats the whole purpose of this experience, I think, in my personal opinion. I think the developers just threw that ending in there as a peace offering because this game is so fucking tragic and heartbreaking. In a separate ending, Alex does in fact save everyone, meaning that Jonas, Michael, Clarissa, and Ren and herself will end up going back to Camino on the boat the next morning. But clearly something isn't right here because the only reason Jonas exists in Alex's life is because Michael died, meaning that Alex sacrificed herself to this endless loop while saving everyone else. What about if you sacrifice Clarissa instead? Everyone who arrived on the boat will also leave on the boat the next morning, and nobody will remember her except Alex, who thinks about her daily. All of Alex's friends will hate her during the night before the morning comes, but as soon as the sun rises, they forget Clarissa even existed. Choose any ending you want, whether it be where Michael stays dead, or whether Michael replaces Jonas, Nona and Ren get together, or Clarissa becomes friends with Alex again. None of these matter. Imagine being given the opportunity to change reality as you know it to achieve the perfect ending. Would you take it? I think Oxenfree does an outstanding job of communicating to the player that no matter what you do, no matter what decisions you make, no matter who dies, you will never be able to achieve the perfection you were so desperately working towards. Because at the end of the day, Alex had all of these opportunities and infinite lifetimes to do so, yet she could never do it. Nobody ever could do it. So the best thing for us to do is to be grateful and move on, lest we destroy ourselves in the process. Oxenfree asks us not only how do we save Edwards Island and everyone on it, but how do we save ourselves for ourselves? Thank you to everyone for watching. This video took quite a while to make. I put in a lot of effort and soul into this, and hopefully, this video resonated with you in some way. If you have any other suggestions for videos you'd like to see from me, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I love you all, and again, I appreciate you for watching. Hopefully this video struck a chord with you somewhere, But I'll see you guys later. Much love.
Tossed it overboard.
Hey, that reminds me. What were we were talking about something stupid right before Alex woke up.
Prom?
Prom.
Yeah, Clarissa, what color's your dress gonna be so I know what corsage to get?
Purple, probably. Royal purple.
Are you going, Alex?
Wait, are people who already graduated allowed to take...
I guess. I mean, if I find a date, I'm not gonna go stag. I have my dignity.
Ben Owens will ask you. Or rather, he's going to ask you unless I physically prevent him.
You can do better.
Oh, Alex, you want to go dress shopping with me and Nona? It'll be fun. It'll be like a movie montage, except none of us are prostitutes and there's no rich guy.
Sounds great. Yeah, I mean, I guess I should spiffy up once in my life.
Spiffy up, my lord. The way this girl talks, and she gets it from you.
I know she gets it from me, and I like it. The rest of you are the wrong ones.
All right, you know what? It's picture time.
Oh my god, come on.
Oh, come on,
Nona.
what? We earned this one.
Yeah, I guess we should. Tonight's been, noteworthy.
Noteworthy. That is a way to say it.
Yeah, I'd probably say it another way.
Let's actually move outside so we can get the light.
Sure.
Ren, what is that book, anyway?
I don't know. I can hardly make heads or tails out of what the hell he's talking about half the time.
Here's good for just here.
Like, look. I'll just pick a random-ass page.
Come on, Alex.
Like this, here. When I was younger, I could remember anything, whether it happened or not. But soon, I shall be so I cannot remember any, but the things that never happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, everyone.
All right, shut up and...
Cheese!
Before we'd left, I told my mom I was spending the night at a friend's house, and when I got back, I didn't see any reason to change that story. And you know what? I still don't. Ren always loved the town, but the island pretty much erased that in one fell swoop. He ended up going to college in California. He was my best friend, but I don't know if I'll ever see him again. Nona, I think, is going to some ballet academy somewhere, but I don't talk to her. She never really got over me almost trading her best friend away. I can't really blame her. Clarissa fled to the East Coast, dropped out of college, and works at a boutique. But any snippets of her life I hear from Michael. They're still dating, kind of. Really, only when she visits. She'll never come back, though. I know that for sure. Not after that night. Since Michael never left, we never had our going away thing at the lake, and so he never drowned. He stayed in town to get an engineering degree. He's content, but I think he's secretly planning to move to New York for Clarissa. I guess we'll see. Jonas never remembered my version of things, though I held out hope for a while that he would. We still hang out all the time, though. He goes to school in town. I call him my other brother. Not to his face. Don't tell Mike. It's funny. What happened on the island used to pop into my head every single day, and then every other day. And then a week went by, and I realized I hadn't thought about it at all. I guess that's... I don't know. It's good, I think. But anyways, well, if it matters, I'm taking some time off. Just to, I don't know, readjust my priorities, figure out what I want to do. But anyways, what time is it? Yeah, sorry, I gotta run or I'll miss the ferry. Ren's dragging me out to Edwards Island for that yearly beach party thing, and I have to pick up what's-his-name Jonas, too. I hope he's not weird or mean or something. Whatever, I'm sure it'll be fun. It's something to do, right?